What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chat with Show. Okay, I know it's been a minute. Yes, it has. Let me tell y'all, okay? Listen, this semester was a busy one. Your girl, listen, I had to, y'all know how I be. I had to get, wait, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get this. What I got going on here? Hold on. Trying to move this, change this up for y'all. Uh-oh, that's not the one I want to see. Okay. Okay, trying to get this up for y'all. Going. Okay, you guys. All right, so welcome to the show. It's been a moment. Okay, you're going to finish my rest of my classes and everything. So far, so good. I'm so proud of myself with my grades. Oh my God, so much just happened. I have to tell you guys, I'm so excited. It's been just a really fun semester, and oh my goodness, so many fun things. Okay, so one of the fun things is I joined this thing for my school project. This guild that's about it's for a particular a theater guild for a particular theater here in Texas. And listen, so this I've been volunteering and everything for this particular guild. Really neat meeting some great, nice people. And it's so funny. They needed one person to like sit on the board for special events, and that's me. So I'm so excited. I get to do something new and sit on the board and meet new people and everything. Y'all, okay, it's fun. I'm so excited. My Thanksgiving was fun. It was nice. I went to Kansas City with my grandparents. We had a good time. We had some good food. It was really fun. Enjoyed it. Can't wait for Christmas. I'm so excited for Christmas. Y'all know I'm a Christmas girl, right? Okay. So today I had like a event at the guild, and so I was looking real festive and stuff. I had my earrings on, my Christmas earrings, my Christmas necklace, and everybody talking about how cute I look, my festivities. Had my little Chiefs boots on. The Chiefs went out like bombs. But that's another story. But I'm still Chiefs all day. But listen, man, I'm mad about that. But oh well. I was like, dang, I would have missed the parade if we had a parade this year. Anyway, it's funny. I'm on Maxwell's cruise. Like, it's like the universe planted, all aligned it. So I wouldn't miss a parade. I was on Maxwell's cruise. I'll be on Maxwell's cruise. God bless. So I'm excited about that too. Very excited about the cruise. So I've been buying sidebar. I've been buying clothes and everything, trying to figure out what outfits I want to wear. Like, what do I wear? What do you do for the cruise? How do you look? So I'm super excited about this cruise. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I'm like trying to find a great hair braider because I want my hair like I don't know. I want it really cute and braid. Got to wear braids because your girl don't want to be bothered. So I'm like, should I do mermaid braids? I'm trying to figure out the type of braids and stuff I want to do. But I do want some curls in it. Some fun curly braids or something like that. But I am super excited about that. Okay. So that's that sidebar on that. But yeah, I've been having the best holiday. My holiday season's been really great. I've really so much enjoyed it. Listen, uh yeah, school was great. I really did a lot. I worked my ass off, y'all. Seriously. I mean, and it's getting more real because after next semester, I'll have one more semester to go for my master's degree. And it's such a blessing to me because I'm like, I'll become like the first person in my family that ever had, I was first had my bachelor's, I'll be first had my master's. It's just like, yeah, that's a blessing. I mean, breaking generational curses is such a God blessing. It's just a blessing of God, and it's grace of God, really. Really grace of God because you come up in the 80s and 90s, late 70s, well, 70s, 80s, and 90s in Kansas City during the crack era. You blessed to be here. You so blessed to be here. So I'm just so excited and just blessed. And I've learned so much this semester. I got to tell y'all about my playwright class sidebar, okay? So I've always been okay, I'm going to share a secret with people I don't share very often. Close friends of mine know it, but and people who knew me in maybe in high school, grade school, and stuff like that. I've always been in the arts. I love theater and music and everything. But one of the things that I used to do since I was a young girl was write. I can write. I can write songs, but haven't done that in a while. Probably last song I probably wrote was in my maybe my early 30s. I haven't really wrote a song in a while. I kind of stayed away from music. I kind of shook away from music, but I can write music. I write songs. Not I don't know how to read music, but I can write a song. I can write lyrics. I can hear music in my head. And I'm thinking about getting back to that. But right now I'm focused on theater. I'm very focused on theater, and I've always been able to write plays, anything. I can write it. My grandmother can write. My mom is artist, artsy. My whole family's artsy, okay. And so, but my grandma specifically artsy, especially in writing and stuff like that. So the big blessing, I went to this class. These are kids. These are kids who are, working in theater world. Some undergrads are in the course, but it's a lot of people who are in theater master's class. And I was so intimidated by this playwright class I had this year because this, our teacher, he's been out there. He's produced plays, directed plays, all kinds of things. So I was so intimidated by this class because they were so many in this class writers, and it was a really like bent on professionally writing. You come to class, we had 6 or 7 meetings. We each came to class with scripts every day, like scripts. We had scripts. Like we had to pass out our scripts, has scripts copied. Everybody has to read through your script out loud in class. You pick the cast, they read it out loud. They critique your writing, everything. My first time, oh my God, everybody was like, yeah, my very first script. People were excited. Second one, they were kind of excited, but I rushed through it because I was in Vegas. But people were good. I didn't get to hear the feedback, but I got lots of good feedback on my on the script. I zoomed in when I was in Vegas, for Max. I said for Maxwell. See how such a big Maxwell fan I am. I'm such a Maxwell fan that I went to cover my Maxwell show, like for my little show, my little podcast, and I zoomed into my class. But I didn't get to hear my the critique of mine because I had to leave because I had something else going on in Vegas. So I was like, okay, I had to leave. And they said they would write down the critiques for me. And so I got them. But everybody had the scripts and stuff ahead of time. So it was all really good. Shout out to my husband. Shout out to him. He took my scripts up there. So this time, okay, I had a wonderful time. I've been working. I've got to work so much more at the school this semester. I was like house manager. I trained as house manager this year. It was so fun. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was fun. It was fun. And so that was great. And I got to wear the headphones, and I like a headset. I got to wear a headset, so it was all cool. So going back to, so I had that was a sidebar, but I had a great time. So y'all, so I get to my last writing class. I'm kind of like, I was rushing through again, writing this stuff. I finished the script. I finished it because I didn't know at the last class that he wanted us to have it done. Well, no, he didn't. He only wanted 1 to 2 more scenes, but I finished, right? And my overachieving ass, right? And I felt like I rushed through it. I was trying to make sure my formatting was okay because they judge it like your formatting has to look like a playwright's formatting and everything. Y'all, get in class. I'm nervous. First, I go to pick up my copies because I'm late to making my copies because I finished up my play the day before, not understanding that all I had to have was an extra 2 scenes because I'm a master's student, right? So I'm like, but I didn't know I completed the play. So I go to pick up the copies, and FedEx doesn't have my copies right. I'm like, the fuck? So I'm having to wait an extra 15, 20 minutes, and I'm thinking I'm going to be late, and it's crazy for class and everything, but I get there on time, right? Pass out the scripts. We read, and everybody has such fabulous stories, but nobody has finished. So when they get to my story, I'm like nervous because I'm always nervous because I write very urban. This is a class, even where the black kids in class are, they're different from a different generation. So they don't write as, excuse me, as urban as I do. I lean into very urban stories and things. 'Cause I grew up in the hood, even though I was what they consider, they used to call different, you like, back in the day, Baps, they had a book called Baps, and it was from the movie Baps, and it talked about Black American princesses and the different types of Black American princesses. And one, you were, if you were upscale, they call you, I forget what the name was, but I was considered a butterfly, which was like, I grew up in the hood, but I had my grandparents. I was raised in my grandparents' house, so my grandparents were very, for the hood, nice. I lived in a nice house, house in the hood and everything like that. But I still had the hood experience. But I just had better hood environment, better hood. It's so funny because my friends and even my husband, they be saying how we lived in a nice part of the hood. It cracks me up. I'm like, really? So it's always funny. So I'm considered what they call, the butterflies. They were from that book. Where they say that, one, that you're not necessarily upscale, but you're in that between space where you're hood and you can go in between both ways. But I tend to write very urban stories I heard when I was growing up, stories from my family, stories from different things, right? And I'm getting ready to work on this story now, y'all. I don't know. I'm scared about it because it's so. I want to make it. It's more of a screenplay, but I won't tell y'all. But let me tell you what inspired it. I was sitting in the audience, and one of the ladies next to me, I was watching Max doing the Maxwell show, and Lucky Day was out there. And one of the ladies said something. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna write a script on that," and it stayed in my head. So one day maybe y'all see it. I don't know, but right now I'm gonna start working on that. But people want me to produce this play really bad. This play, I just got to do it. So I wrote this play for class. It's really based on some of my family a little bit. Some growing up, two of my favorite aunts, and I'll put allegedly on this because there's the story surrounding this. It's funny because my dad's side of the family, these two aunts that I remember has committing suicide. My family, when I'm going around my dad's family, they all say I remind them of these two aunts. And my mother always like, "You talk like what you call, you got Annie's this." And I'm like, "Wow, this is crazy." Like, they always say it. So but I remember the story surrounding it. So I added certain elements. It's my own story, but just stories from growing up and hearing those little different things and stuff. So I wrote this story about this family who is dealing with suicide, the death of their youngest daughter, the youngest daughter in the family. And she has killed herself. It's a week or two after the death of her. It starts off a week or two from the death of this young lady, and it goes from there. And it has a very powerful opening scene to me. But so when I'm in class and we're getting ready to read the last part, the class is getting ready to read the last right before. The class is super excited. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, here comes this is oh my God, we're excited. It's time for Keisha's play." I'm like, what? The reaction was so like, it made me feel so good. Listen, I was like, what? It was just they were excited, including here's what was powerful to me. The white students in class were even more excited. The black students were too. No, they were listen, my brothers and sisters, and they were high, totally encouragement, right? But the white students were high too. I was like, wow. So they start to read the script. Y'all, let me tell you. They read two scenes because we have other, we're like we have two more plays left in the day. And so everybody, and I'm like, I don't want them to read, to the end because the end is more of a certain thing. But they get to the last scene that we're supposed to read because you're only supposed to read two scenes. They get through. This is after and right before they're getting ready to do this, my play. One of the young ladies who in my class, Shout out to her. She comes over to me. She says, "Hey, Keisha, you know how this, it's because she said you were dealing with a younger crew and stuff." She's like, "This may be triggering to some of them, so make sure." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll say that." Whatever. Listen, I read this play. It was the loudest applause after. I mean, people were like, like I mean, I was like, "What?" I mean, it was crazy. And I was sort of like, it was surreal for me because I had lost I had lost my confidence in a lot of artsy stuff. And I was like, what in the world? And so one girl was like, oh my God, this is so good. And the other, so one of the girl, one of the young white girls says to me, this this is you're gonna be like a Tyler Perry. Now wait a minute. The black kids in the class said, "Oh hell no." The black kids said, "Oh, she's far better than Tyler Perry." And everybody, Joyce said, "Yes." Oh no, she said, "No, I didn't mean it like that." I'm like, the topics that you choose to tackle. I'm not talking about his writing per se. I know what you're talking about, but it didn't bother me to be compared to that because I know that's the big guy right now or whatever. But let me tell you, the compliments, the the notes they left me on my scripts when they passed them back to me, and my teacher saying to me, "Wow, teacher, this is really good. Congratulations on being the person to finish your script." I was the only one. I finished. I was like, I didn't mean to, but it made me feel so proud of myself. I know I have to do so much more work on writing, but I was super excited. And why I tell you guys this story today is because not just because I'm proud of this moment, it's such a proud moment for me, but because it may be something out there that you feel so intimidated about or that you feel like you're not good enough for. Let me tell you something. The last few years of my life there's been a lot of sometimes discouragement, lots of hard times, lots of hard things I've been going through, personal things. And when I say personal things, like issues of the heart, issues of the spirit, I'm still going through certain things. You know what I'm saying? But the blessings that have come, I mean, it's been so many in spite of all the other stuff. Um, and I just want to tell you guys, you might be afraid and you might be thinking you're not good at something or you're not as good. I was thinking, is this too urban? Is this too this and that? And the one thing everybody told me in that class was your dialogue is so realistic and how you handled these sensitive topics surrounding this death was beautiful. Man, it was a great compliment. I was so proud, but I wanted to tell you guys that story because you may be thinking that whatever you're going through in your life or your space, you may be saying, I don't know how I got here. I don't know how I get to these moments. I don't know. Maybe you're thinking your life is not what it should be, and you thinking you have less potential, and you may be a person like me who writes and does all kind of things, and you're saying, hey, it's later in my life. I don't really know if this does anything or if this. Do what you know you can do because what you'll find is your potential is far greater than you could imagine. Don't be scared to let people. And I remember one of the damn reads I said, keep in mind I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. I use Erica Badu's thing and everybody started laughing. But yeah, I mean, you can be a person that's sensitive about your work and stuff, but sometimes you gotta let people open up to people and not be afraid and go into a space where you can hear people's feedback and get the confidence you need. And it's so many beautiful things that have happened to me this semester in terms of having confidence, believing in myself, really re-looking at things. Not perfect, but better. Just so many better things. I there's some more stuff. Something else I'm working on. I'm so excited about, and I'm hoping that it works out. But I have to tell y'all this later. I can't tell y'all now. But I'm excited. Okay, so it's a blessing. So I'm telling you, your potential is greater than you think. Don't be scared, even if it's been something you haven't done in years, or it's been something you haven't done. What I say is life. I've been looking this year at alignment and choices. And a lot of times people will say, people, I do not, I'm going to tell you, I really don't know if I believe in this, and I'm going to be honest with you. But people will say to you, it's a blessing that you didn't, like when you fail at something and you failed to do something, really well, or you failed to, like, say, for instance, if you uh, failed to, let's say you failed to, you made a choice that were, you made a wrong choice and did decide to not to finish school, but you decide to work at a job that you hated for the next 10 years. Okay. And people will be like, and then you go back to school and people are like, it was the perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you know what I'm saying? God was protecting you for people say that to make you feel better, but I don't always think that's true. uh Sometimes we just make bad decisions. Sometimes we're out of alignment, and what happens is when we get back in the alignment and things of God, where no matter where, and let me tell you what those bad choices can be. Those bad choices can be relationships, friendships, um, making the wrong career choices, um, marriage. It could be all kinds of things that can change the course of your life and put you in a very different alignment than what you're supposed to be in. Sometimes I do believe that people are sick, fat, overweight. I'm not saying fat. God, let me take that back, because I'm big. I'm plus size girl, right? Overweight and all these things, because they're out of alignment. They're not in an environment or places that serve to uh they're not in the place they're supposed to be in, or the place when you get in the proper, sometimes not alignment, the things that, and that doesn't mean everybody, sometimes people who are plus size are meant to be plus size. As long as you're healthy and strong and look good, I have no problem with that. But when you're having struggles with your health, your and everything like that, that means to me that sometimes speaks to being out of alignment. And sometimes it's the things going on in your life, it's the choices that you made, or things that you made, life choices, right? And what I believe that happens is that when you get back in alignment, if it's 20 years from now or 30 years from now, that God blesses that time for you. And the Bible, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that God will restore to you the years that the cankerworm and the locust and everything that's eat up. And that's created that scripture that said, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways. If you turn from the things that you have not done well, like you know what I'm saying? And this isn't just wicked ways. It's meaning turning from the way you've always done things that may have caused you to make bad decisions. God will restore to you the time so that you can do what you need to do. Now, I don't care how old you are. I always tell people, when Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, he was 80 some years up. Okay, so I'm just telling you guys that don't give up on you, and understand that the potential that you have within you is far greater than you think, and it can be turned into something so powerful for your life. And as you're turning, listen, everything's not going to be perfect. When you're out of alignment, when you're getting back into alignment, there are going to be rocky things. You're going to lose friendships, you're going to lose relationships, you're going to lose. I'm telling you, and it may be hard, it may be good, it may be, but it's all leading you to the place that you should be, and it's leading those people and our people in your lives, or certain things in your lives, to a place that people need to be. So I just want to encourage y'all, okay? Because I'm so encouraged, and I mean, it ain't perfect over here, but I'm encouraged, baby. It is. I'm getting back to my alignment. I said, Lord, you know, I always talk about it. I'm so blessed. Listen. I survived breast cancer, and you know what? I'm like, I ain't going back to doing the same. I'm not going back. I'm not going back out. I'm not going pre breast cancer. That's over. I can't go back. I'm in radicalism right now. And whatever that means, it means, you know. And I always tell this joke. It was this. I always tell this when I was sitting down talking to uh, and I was just talking to someone today about my breast cancer, and and she was encouraged by it. But and let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. But I went to uh oh goodness, I lost my train of thought. Okay, with my breast cancer, what I learned is that I was talking to my radiologist, and the person who was with the radiation and everything. And I remember the doctor. He came and said, you know, this is when we first met. Like we're in the second meeting. He said the goal for us, because you're young right now. What is it that you have left? You know, we want you to live a full life. What you have left? 20 years or so? 22, 20. I said, what? 25 years? 30 years? I said, hold up, doctor. I said, uh-uh. I said, my family live a long time, baby. Add 50 or 60 on that. He fell out. I'm like, what? But I joke about it, but that timing, him saying that, I had to realize, oh man, time ain't playing with my ass. Okay, it's time. You know, even though hey, I rebuke what he said. I said, doctor, we live long time. I got a 97-year old grandma. Huh? What you talking about? And an 80-some-year-old papa. And they both fly and got their minds. Okay, so I plan on riding this thing out. Baby, as long as I can. Don't be putting no time on me. But it did make me understand time. Time is everything. So I've been in this perpetual state of alignment. And it's hard to get in it because when what happens is they tell you that at a certain age you start learning habits. There are habits that you learn. I remember I was watching one of the guys from the Mental Spirits that sometimes I listen to, and he said, and I don't like everybody from the Mental Spirit, but he said if you have if a man is over 35, he's set in his ways. He's not gonna what you see is what you get. But I really don't believe that for people. At any time, people buy into the narrative that you display the same habits. And let me tell you this: it is hard to get one. The older you get, the harder it is to break old habits. But you know what? That's what life is supposed to be about. You are supposed to be changing the narrative of your life, especially if you're not in the place you need to be. I'm encouraging y'all today, get in alignment in your life, find the space you're supposed to be in, find listen, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the fallout. Don't be afraid of whatever your alignment looks like and what it may do for and how your changes may affect others. It is a scary part. I can't lie to you and say it's not scary, because when you change your life, it is scary. And what you know is that what the life you have right now may not be the life you have 5 years from now. You're working to go into a whole nother space in a whole nother, the person I am right now. I don't recognize her the 20 years ago. I don't even know who 20 years ago girl versus this girl now is very different. Very different. Very I really feel like I'm more in my older years understanding my power. And so I just want to encourage y'all with that and understanding the time and where you at. And you know what? You know, in understanding that some things that you go through, like if you're going through a bad time, if you're going through a health downturn or a time in your life where your health is not doing so well and stuff like that, Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this is a rebooting of your life. Now, here is the hard thing. A lot of times health issues are warnings. If you were blessed enough, like to me, to find out you had early stage breast cancer, you found out early enough. Some people are not blessed, like some people find out late or whatever. But I believe God delivered me a warning to get it together, because 20 years from now it's going to be harder for you. Not saying that you can't bounce back, but it'll be harder for you. So when you have a something they've told you, if they've delivered you some bad news about your health and stuff now, or anything in your life, now is the time to get in alignment and to get yourself right. Get yourself to the place that you need to be. Get yourself in the purposes that you need to be in, the purpose that God has for your life or whatever. Get yourself in alignment so that you can use the time you have wisely. I was so blessed. I went to what I was going to tell y'all about. When I went to see Max in Vegas. So I always tell my very fun Maxwell stories. Okay, my Maxwell stories. It's never about Maxwell. I find like I'm figuring that this little journey to through the Maxwell world. It's not really about Maxwell. It's really about some of the great people I've met. And I met this young lady. I went to when I went to Vegas this time, and I met this wonderful lady, and she was going through, um, and I'm not telling who she is, but hopefully she doesn't mind. I'm telling her story without saying who she is, but um, I feel like I just came there for her, because at first I was thinking, oh, like, why did I do pick this? I was kind of laughing about it, because I was kind of like, do I really want to go? I mean, at the last minute, I was wondering, like, do I really want to do this and stuff like that? But it ends up being one of the funnest trips I ever had. Um, but I believe I came specifically for her. So I get there, and she's going through that week. She had just, I think, undergone a biopsy, and she was in the same place that I was 2 years before. Just, yeah, I don't know what this and that. And I told her my story, my story about, we talked about, no, one of my people introduced us and said she's had breast cancer too. Could you talk to her? And we talked, and we become friends. And she's a big Maxwell friend too. Really huge Maxwell fan. She's been to like several like shows and meet and greets and stuff like that. But she found out she had breast cancer, and I said, you know what, you listen. I encourage you. It's my sister, one of my best friends, who's a sister to me, had breast cancer a year before I did, and she led me, walked with me, to walk me through what I was going through, because emotionally, what you go through is a whole different story. But so I told her, I'm here for you. You got this. You know what I'm saying? And she's blessed to have found it early stage. But I understood. I said, wow, God, look at the blessing, the encouragement that I went through that hard time. You might be going through hard times, but that's for somebody. If you survive it, it is for somebody. And it's for you to touch somebody and to talk to somebody and to encourage somebody. So I want to tell you today, this holiday season, no matter what you're going through, be encouraged, okay? Because when you come out on the other side, you will be able to touch somebody's life and bless them, okay? When you go through some real shit, you are able to bless people in the end, you know what I'm saying, in the end, about what you've been going through. And their thing isn't like yours. No, everybody has a different footprint to how they live, or fingerprint, or whatever. But how you did it, the inspiration, the fact that you went through, can encourage somebody that I can go through too, right? And so I just want to encourage y'all with all that today. I hope y'all got it. That's your it's a word for today, okay? So it's a word for we get into the crazy talk. We had to do the it's a word before we get scandalous up in this bitch. Because it's about to get scandalous, okay? Oh my God. So we're gonna talk about, listen, I will take a quick little what's it, electronic music break. And then when I come back, we gonna talk about baby these hot topics. Who is this Michigan coach? Child. And then y'all done saw the Patrick Mahomes. Hold on, sidebar. Let me say this to the people, somebody out here. I was going to talk about this. I'm going to give y'all a second half of this before I get off and before I take a break. Second part of this is in alignment, getting in alignment. Patrick Mahomes, I watched this season for the Chiefs. Listen, I was so mad. I was like, I want Patrick Mahomes to leave because people are like, oh, at least we had 3 wins. I'm like, no, that boy's in the prime. He's something different. Y'all can't be you can't have Patrick Mahomes in the prime. That's a Jordan. You can't have no Jordan in his prime and not give him the best team, not surround him with the best. You don't deserve him if you're gonna be mediocre. Let me tell you something. You can see it too. When Patrick Mahomes started, he was moving. He was just moving fast. That boy was going. I was like, I ain't never seen nothing like it. Even Jordan, I never seen nothing moving that fast. And to me, a lot of things work to slow Patrick down. And to the point where now he has a torn ACL. Let me tell y'all something. What you can learn about Patrick Mahomes. And the type of dude Patrick Mahomes is, he gonna recognize it because he's a Virgo. Okay, Virgos recognize that ish. They start recognizing when Virgos get to that place. They be like, hold up, who's for me, who ain't against. Let me just tell you, when you're on a trajectory, when you come into something and you are trying to do something that no one else has ever done. When you are trying to be the greatest at something. When you are trying, not competition, you're trying to live up to your highest potential. Watch the distractions. Watch the people who will throw you out of alignment. People who will try to stop you moving in such high energy. Oh my God, I love watching dudes like Patrick Mahomes. I love watching dudes like Jordan. Because to live on that level, to be at your highest potential, I mean, and not just wondering it, but to be so intentional about where you're going and how you're moving and how fast you're going. It was watching Patrick Mahomes was almost so scary because his first 9 seasons, this young man has never missed a playoff. He's never been in a losing season. He's only been in AFC championships and Super Bowls. The first 10 years of his career. That's a motherfucker who's going somewhere, okay? And listen, all kind of shit that is good will come to try to sabotage you. If you look at Patrick Mahomes, I want y'all to look at Patrick Mahomes' story and how he was going to them Super Bowls, and he had distractions from family, he had distractions from the Chiefs. Everybody was just shit. But that boy he's so powerful. He put that team on his back and he's like, I'm going to the Super Bowl. I'm going every season. I ain't playing. I'm getting close. And this year, it's just that folks let me explain what happened to him. Folks start riding him too much. Every now and then, Superman needs a break. Superman can't always. Superman needed some help. At some point, Superman needs some help, even though he the man of steel. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And I'm using Patrick Mahomes this is just something for y'all to grasp on for y'all second. It's a word. But you could carry people on your back to greatness. You like, hey, I'm running with y'all. But at some point, you gotta make sure you gotta win. You got the winners around. You got people who think in the same mindset as you. You got to make sure that you on a team that say, I want a Super Bowl every year as long as he playing. Now we know that might not be possible, but you damn sure, and we gonna try it. You want to make sure that people are in alignment with where the hell you going. I love this. It's the song Cardi B. Cardi B's album has become one of my favorite albums. I mean, it's so ratchet as hell, but it's like become one of my favorite albums. But she got this one song. What I forget what that song is, but she said, "I've been feeling like a bad bitch all day. If you ain't something, then get out my way. Like you ain't here to help. Get the fuck out the way. I'm moving." Ooh, alignment, spiritual, and it could be people that love you and mean good for you. Family members will try to mess up where you're going because they have no I always tell people to read The Alchemist. Read The Alchemist. The Alchemist, people who loved him tried to stop him, his journey, but he could not stop because he had a journey. What happened to Patrick Mahomes today, that ACL, was people depending on him too much, depending on riding his back all the way to the Super Bowl, but not being in alignment. He got people around him that's, I would tell him personally, you got people around you that's not in alignment with you. Tell them to get in motherfucker in alignment or get the hell out the way. Because you can tell you going somewhere fast and they going to try to stop you. They're going to try to slow you down. And because in order to fight, even though, let me tell y'all this, sidebar, I do believe the NFL is rigged. Even when the Chiefs, sometimes when the Chiefs win, and I'll tell you that. The reason why, sidebar, because of markets and stuff like that. You notice all the markets that ain't been doing good in 10 years have suddenly come up because you can't afford to keep having bad markets for a long period of time. And I think this in all of sports. And the more that betting and stuff is there, the worse sports get. But I don't think the players know that, it's because it can't be a system where the players know that rigging is going on. It would probably have to be a system of refs, coach. This is my opinion. Refs, coaches, and owners. Okay. That's just my opinion. And that's in all of sports, in my opinion. Okay. When you have that kind of stuff going on, please. And certain teams couldn't survive in markets, in my personal opinion, without an infusion of certain wins for certain times. Like you can, say for instance, let's say for instance, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl. If they don't, they dumb. If the Buffalo Bills don't go to the Super Bowl this year, with the Chiefs not there, Lamar and them not there, they got a smooth way. If they don't go to the Super Bowl this year, child, there's something else going on. Okay, but but I believe the Buffalo Bills are going to go, and why? Because the Buffalo Bills haven't been there in a long period of time. And the last time they went 4 times in a row and they lost every time. Okay. I was even at the fourth one they went to. I was actually at the game. Okay. They lost to the Cowboys in the 90s. It's time for Buffalo's market to win. They've been filling up that stadium for years and years, only to be let down. A Super Bowl win will guarantee that arena be filled for another 10 to 15 years. Because that's how football fans and sports fans in general relate. Because you keep the hope. You know how Chiefs winning 3 in a row and 4 in a row is going to keep the Chiefs fans there after 50 years of not winning the Super Bowl. Chiefs fans are going to come. I got some new Chiefs gear just recently. But you know what? Mine is about representing my hometown too, because I love my hometown. So it's about representing, where I'm from. But yeah, like Chiefs fans, that gear is probably going out the window. You should have saw here at Cowboy Stadium when the Chiefs played the Cowboys. It was more red in that stadium than Cowboy gear. Crazy. So that's how much the Chiefs have, that market has opened up. Okay, so that's just a sidebar I want to say. But getting back to Patrick Mahomes and the way he's moving, okay, I don't think they anticipated Patrick Mahomes to win 2 and 3 Super Bowls. I don't think they anticipated Patrick Mahomes to be in the AFC West, winning 10 being head of running the AFC West for the last 10, 11 years. It's unprecedented, even for Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't even do that. But that kid he's on something. He's on some sort of mission. And I feel like people are trying to slow him down. Let me tell you some things that can slow you down, okay? That's good things. I'm going to tell y'all good things that can slow you down, okay? And this, I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes, but even though I'm going to talk about this picture Brittany Mahomes put out in a few minutes, okay? But I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes' family or nothing like that. But let me tell you what will slow you down. Not being aligned, not having a spouse who is aligned with your goals. And they can mean well. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean they're not nice people. But having a spouse that does not understand where the fuck you trying to go, and you know you're supposed to go this way, and they always like, well, I can't, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, when you got a certain mission and stuff like that, you might lose people getting to your mission, including your spouses. Facts. Especially when it's a mission that's, you know, that got to be done. Something. So it's wonderful to have somebody who understands your mission, and vice versa. You understand theirs, and that they align. Second, family and friends. If they ain't on point, they making distractions and shit. Every time you turn around, you got to stop moving, doing some wild shit while you trying to get stuff. You trying to move forward, and here's somebody over here distracting you from your family, asking for this and doing all that. Wow, you gotta cut them off. You gotta let them go. You gotta let them, because you like, no, I'm going. I got some place I'm going. And if you ain't in alignment with me, I can't go. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible where y'all know how I love Bible stories. Okay, there's a part, I forget that the men were going to war. I forget which war it was, but let me see if I can look it up. I'm looking it up, y'all. See what it is. I know I want to make sure I got it right, but if not, I'll tell y'all the basic. Uh, okay, yeah. So this, the reason I'm telling y'all this. Y'all not cussed up, but yeah, I'm telling y'all this little Bible story because I think it's good for y'all. Okay, this is from Judges. Judges is one of my favorite books in the Bible. Okay, I always tell people they should make a movie on Judges because it would be rated R, baby. Judges is a trip. Okay, but anyway, it says, so Gideon took the men down. This is Judges 7:5-25, and this is some. Listen to me. This is not young. You ain't got to be leaving the Bible to get this lesson. Okay, let me just get the lesson. What I'm getting ready to tell you. So Gideon took the men down to the water. The Lord told them, separate those who lap the water with their tongues, as a dog laps from those who kneel down to drink. 300 of them drank from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. The Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give you the Midianites into your hands. Let all the others go home. So Gideon sent the rest of the Israelites home, but kept the 300 who took over the provisions and and trumpets of others. Um, Okay, so remember that. Let me say this, read this again. The first verse. So Gideon took the men down to the water. There, the Lord told him, separate those who lap the water with their tongues, as a dog laps from those who kneel down to drink. 300 of them drank from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. So all the rest was trying to be pretty, right? But the men that lapping like dogs was like, you know, they's like, hey, we thirsty, okay? And so he said, but he tells them to keep the 300 who took over the provisions and the trumpets of others. Now the camp of Midian lay lay below him in the valley. During the night, the Lord said to Gideon, get up. Go down to against the camp, because I'm going to give it into your hands. If you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah and listen to what they're saying. Afterwards, you will be encouraged to attack the camp. So he and Purah, the servant, went down to the outposts of the camp. The Midianites and Amalekites and I'm not probably saying their names right, and all the other eastern peoples had settled in the valley, thick as locusts. Their camels could no more be counted than the sand on the seashore. Gideon arrived just as the man was telling his friend, I had a dream. He was saying, a round loaf of barley bread come tumbling down into the Midianites' camp. It struck the tent with such force that the tent overturned and collapsed. His friend responded, this can be nothing other than the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite. God has given the Midianites and the whole camp into his hands. When Gideon heard the dream and his interpretation, he bowed down and worshiped. He returned to the camp of Israel and called out, "Get up, the Lord of the gave in the Midian camps into your hands." Okay, so dividing the 300 men into three companies, he placed the trumpets and empty jars into the hands of all of them with torches inside. "Watch me," he told them, and they followed his lead. You can read the rest of the story. But why do I tell you they won this battle against Midianites? But here's the very important part of this story. There was a point before. He's got a huge army. This is tens of thousands of people probably in this army. And God says to him, "Take the men down to the water." He says, "Separate those who lap the water with their tongues as a dog from those who kneel down to drink." 300 of them drank from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. Like, meaning they didn't want to look. So the men who were, let me just see if I can look at an interpretation of this so I can help y'all to understand what I'm saying. Because there's a reason I'm telling y'all this. Let me look at something real quick. Oh, I put it the wrong thing. We're going to get this. And I quit preaching I am reading, but I think somebody needs to hear this, okay? Okay. Okay, yeah. This was, they said there was almost 32,000 men with him, okay? Was already overmatched by 100,000, 35 Midianites. Okay, so it was 135,000 Midianites in the camp, okay, but to their 32,000. Yet God thought his army was too big, and he commanded Gideon to invite all who were afraid to go home. He was left with only 10,000 men. Okay, so he told all the men first. I didn't even read that part where he told all the men who were afraid, if you scared, if you can't go on this journey with me, take your butt home, take your ass home. Okay. And then he was only left with 10,000 men. Gideon was probably surprised at the number of men who were already afraid to fight and hoped that only a few hundred would leave. But we're told they assembled in a place that they could see 135,000 Midian troops. Okay. This is then he had to separate the men again. He said, "The people are too many, bring them down to the water and I will test them for you there. Then it will be that of whom I say to you, this one shall go with you, the same shall go with you, and whomever I say to you, this one shall not go to you, and the same shall not go." So he brought the people down to the water, and I read that to you. Okay. So he reduced the army down to 300 against 132,000, right? Okay, this seems a strange test. Let me try it. And there was different ideas. So wait, God used this. I'm reading this part for you guys. Okay, it says has a dog laps. The ancient Hebrew word for laps is yelp. It used to imitate the sound a dog makes when yapping. While the test, and they said the test was peculiarly military. Men in such a position were not on guard against sudden surprise. But the 300 men who lapped, I will save you and deliver the Midianites into your hand. God assured Gideon the victory was certain. Okay, with 300 men. Okay, less than 1% of its original size. Okay, size. Now, why I'm telling you this story is because Gideon had an army first of 32,000 people to go up against a huge army of 132,000 people. He realized that a lot of people were scared. They were scared. They like, "Hey, I don't know, Gideon. We ain't got that many people. I mean, I know you say the Lord gonna see us through, but man, I don't know about that." So he said, "Hey, y'all scared? Go home." Then God gave him another test. So you still got too many people. I'm gonna show you the men who are laughing, who's looking up and looking around. Them the ones you take with you because they on alert. They high on alert. They understand what's going on here. And if you got 300 people listen, if you got 300 people, people, if you start off with 50,000 people, this is what I'm saying, and they and all of them just extra hangers on, and they don't know your vision, they don't know what you supposed to do and stuff like that, and and you got to get rid of all of them. They'll have you everywhere. But if you got 300 good people, or I'm not even saying 300, like Gideon, 300 good people to a huge, massive army, that's supernatural. You know why it's supernatural what they did? Because they were focused, highly alert, highly focused on the goals, highly focused on what they had to do, and which was destroy the Midianites. And they couldn't take nobody scared with them. They couldn't take nobody didn't know how to look out for the enemy while they was even drinking. See, you gotta have people around you that understand the goal and the purpose of where you're going. I hope y'all get this. I'm hoping y'all understand why I read this, okay, for y'all. You got to have people around you that are lapping like dogs, looking up while they looking around for the enemy, right? Looking around for what hey, we on a mission here. You don't have to have a bunch of people. You don't have to have a bunch of connections. You just got to have the right people who believe in your vision, who believe in your plan, and who believe in God's plan for your life, baby. You can do great things. You don't have to have a bunch of people with you. The right people, the right things. And when the Bible says two can put an army fight to 10,000, that's the facts. Okay. Gideon army is that. So that's what I want to leave y'all with. That's the second half of y'all It's a Word. Okay. Listen, I use Patrick Mahomes as an example. When you don't have the right people around, look at what happened with Patrick Mahomes today. Because everybody ain't in alignment. That Chiefs organization over there, y'all ain't in alignment with Patrick Mahomes. You got the greatest quarterback that has been seen in almost 50 years. Greatest Tom Brady, probably greater. Tom Brady ain't even went to the first 10 seasons of his career to the AFC Championship. This boy don't even know a losing season. But you got that man out there hurt because he ain't got the right men around him. He can't keep carrying men to the thing. He need the right men around him. Time for them y'all to discern what's right in the right organization. That's what I'm saying. You got to have all that in place to go towards where you need to go. To allow a leader like Gideon to take you to where you need to go. Like Gideon was a leader. Like, Patrick was a leader the last 2 years. He took that team and took them on their back. They wasn't the greatest team. He put that team on his back and said, let's go. Just ride my back. You gotta always have the right team around you, the right group of people, and know how you supposed to move. Just not the right family members, right relationships, right friendships. And you know what I'm saying. You know when you don't listen. You know when people will mean well and be speaking to you, speaking death to you, meaning well. Speaking death to your dreams. I don't know if you should do that. That's not really smart. You got to be able to discern. Is this person good for my team or is they not? I need somebody who can see the vision. And you got to have somebody to be able to tell you when it's slightly off. And you can believe them and know they're not trying to sabotage you. Because sabotaging of dreams never comes from people, in my personal opinion, that you don't know. They come from the people closest to you. People who mean well by you. I was going to talk about Peter when Jesus was getting ready they was coming to arrest Jesus, and Peter pulled out a sword and cut one of the soldiers' ears off. And they say Jesus healed the man's ear, and he says to Peter, "Get thee behind me, Satan." And you like, Jesus, what's up? Why are you so mad at Peter? Peter trying to help you. They about to take your butt to jail. You know what the hell is going on here? But Jesus was understanding, like, hey, this is my mission. My mission is the cross. You trying to stop me from going to the cross. This is my mission is the cross. You understand my mission. And if you understood what my mission was, you wouldn't be trying to stop this man from doing what he's doing right now. And then he called the man who betrayed him his friend. So let me tell y'all something. Y'all got to be able to discern who your friends are, because sometimes your friend is your enemy. Whoa, whoa. I'm going to let y'all rest on that, okay? Sometimes the people that you think are the people, sometimes the people closest to you are people who are not, sometimes they don't work for your good. Trying to keep you in a comfort. Comfort is one of the worst killers of dreams. So I just want to encourage y'all with that today. I hope y'all encouraged. I hope somebody out here somewhere be able to use it. And that's that. Okay, so now we're going to go on a break, and now we're going to get back. We're going to go into the ratchetness of it all, okay? We get back. I got so much to talk about. We're going to talk about this guy from Michigan. How dumb can you? Listen, I'm not going to really get on the man, because you know what? He obviously is from some sort. No, I'm going to get on him. I ain't going to lie. I ain't got to get Man, this man gave up $6 million. Okay. Oh man, sad. Okay, we gonna talk about the Michigan. Let me put this. Can we find a? Oh God, just a sad to see. Okay, the Michigan coach, and then he talking about out of alignment and just your life, just doing. Man, this man was not thinking. That's crazy. All right, so we're gonna talk about him when we get back. Okay, so let me put it up here. I'm gonna take a quick little electric music break, and we'll get ready to talk about this coach, man, what he's done to his life, his career, his marriage. I mean, it just would have been easier to get a divorce and be a player. So, why you gotta mess with somebody at the school? Is y'all stupid? I told you, you never make your money where you never make your money. You never have your honey where you make your money. You don't do that. Y'all not, what's wrong with y'all? A lot of y'all out here. A lot of y'all slow. Slow. You don't do it. All the women I'm just saying, all the people he could have had out here, all the relationship, it just don't make no sense. All the women, he could have went and got a woman somewhere else. I mean, he didn't have to. If you're gonna play a player, I mean, why are you gonna play with somebody on the staff? It is never a good idea. Just my personal opinion is to make your money and have your honey where you make your money. Okay. That's messy. Messy, 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 messy. And we're going to talk about how this Michigan football coach is just being messy. Okay, wait, hold on. Why does they keep showing this commercial over and over again? Okay, y'all, hold on. I'm trying to get it up so that it won't. I keep showing this thing over and over again. Okay. So I'll come back and be ready to talk about that in just a second. The Michigan football coach. Hold on. What in the world? I can't get it up here. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So we'll be talking about him when we get back. Okay. So and the lessons you can learn from this man. All right. Be back in a second. All right, you guys, we are back on the Carlotta Chadwick show. Okay, so we got to talk about this Michigan coach. Man, oh man, this brother right here. I mean, talk about throwing it all away. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. And you know, it's. I was listening to this guy's show today. He's really good. And he was saying something about it's not so much all the stuff that he did, the cheating, it's what he did after when he figures this situation, how he responded to all of this. Not the cheating's good or anything, but I'm just saying that wasn't going to be the thing that ended this career, but it's his response to all of this that is probably career ending. But this is from uh uh let's see. This is from let me see which one I got this up. I think I got the article. I don't know if I got the article I want up. Hold on, y'all. Mm. Okay. So apparently this coach, he's been married for a long time. And let me tell y'all, this is why I always tell y'all divorce is okay. Listen, divorce, sometimes I saw a show last night on the ID channel where a woman didn't want to divorce her husband because she was Catholic. I mean, I don't understand that. He wanted to leave or whatever, but he shot her in the head because he didn't want. Listen, divorce is okay. You got sometimes divorce ain't gonna feel good. It's no, it's not supposed to, and it's gonna hurt and all that stuff, but it's okay. You gotta act if you a Christian and you love God and everything. No, divorce is not good, but you can always ask God for forgiveness, like y'all do. Some of y'all fornicators, you know what y'all do. Some of y'all do all kind of stuff out here, but you can always ask for forgiveness. Go let them people go. And I know some of y'all got to work through it and stuff like that. I ain't mad at that. It take time. I ain't mad at it, but come on now. If somebody want free, give them free. Why is this man staying with you? It's obvious this man wasn't happy. Okay. I just greedy one. But it said fired Michigan coach Sharon Moore was suicidal after cops were called to his executive. Let me share this one so y'all can see this is girlfriend. This is girlfriend right here. This is white girl. He do it out for this is white. He like apparently he got a type. Okay. Um and they said he was suicidal after cops were called to his executive assistant's apartment. Okay. It says Sharon Moore, the lauded head coach of the University of Michigan's storied football program, threw away his $30 million career when his affair with his assistant came to light. And not only did this man have an affair, but he was giving her a bunch of money. Like allegedly, he was upping her salary at the same time too. Okay, upping her salary. Child, he was a messy. Okay, it says a scandal that was capped by his stunning arrest over allegations of assault. The 39-year-old married dad of three's promising career quickly came to a crashing end Wednesday. He was booted as Michigan's head coach that afternoon, and within the same hour, he was busted on criminal charges for allegedly breaking into the home of his executive assistant, Paige Shiver, with a knife in hand. That's what's gonna get him. That's it. You know, you could get over the cheating and all that stuff, but to go in there and look at that's almost like is that an attempted murder charge or something like allegedly? Because the rumors is that he was trying to hurt her because she allegedly went to the people and gave them the evidence that that they was fucking around. You know what I'm saying? All right, he got pissed. And he went over there, but if you would have just held on and you probably would have had to go do some lower country, but you would have eventually made your way back. But it's this right here, man. Going over there to that girl's place. What kind of coochie did she have? Lord have mercy. Okay, but it say it says that and you know, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna get to the white women part of it all, okay? in a minute. Within the same hour, criminal charge allegedly breaking into home executive paid Shiver with a knife in hand. Moore, the first black head, listen to this, the first black coach in Michigan head history, is now cooling his heels in Washtenaw County Jail on suspicion of assault charges. Okay, so that's all these. The shocking news came just days after Moore has spoken with reporters as the number 18 ranked Wolverines begin to prepare for the Citrus Bowl later this month, and it caught the college football world by surprise. The stunning developments on Thursday included Moore was reported to be suicidal and had a knife after he went to the Shivers apartment following his firing. He remained in jail Thursday with the first court appearance scheduled for Friday. Shiver 32 was given a 55% raise to $90,000 last year. The university previously investigated claims of his inappropriate relationship with the staffer, but he denied it, according to reports. He was fired when the staffer came forward with evidence of the affair after he asked her, according to the claims. Man, you can't fire the fuck. That's why you don't make what? You do not make your honeys where you make your money. This dumb ass fired. Michigan football insiders reported that Moore had been acting strange, berating assistant coaches, according to ESPN. A female caller reported to a 911 dispatcher that Moore was armed with a knife and had been stalking her for months, according to the police audio obtained by the Post. Male at this location is attacking her, said he's been stalking her for months. A male voice can be heard saying in the audio. Okay, that's him and his wife right there. The audio said also indicated Moore had threatened to harm himself during the alleged exchange, after which he fled on foot and was arrested at a nearby church. The dispatcher said the caller reported Moore has brandished a knife before throwing down the weapon and running away. It's going to be at the Weel Church, suicidal, driving a black Tahoe, blacked out. Oh, God. The call came from Shiver Ann's Harbor's address, according to public records, though it was not immediately clear if she was the victim. Okay. Listen here. Okay. He was messy. This girl was on his staff. She looks very young. Dude, black men, first of all, I don't know what is going on with black males and I know what, listen, I know white men do wild shit too. They're just never caught. They're never in the news. They're never, I used to hear about the rock and roll days. Shit ain't just R. Kelly and Puffy that's out here doing wild shit. Y'all don't want to hear the stories I used to hear about the rock and rollers. Hey. I mean, some wild stories, okay? I don't know what to say about all of this. This is really crazy. I don't know what it is with it's it's the Candyman syndrome, I call it. I feel like black men are having the Candyman syndrome. Remember the story of Candyman? I don't like to say the name Candyman. They say don't say it 3 times. I don't know in the movie, but remember the story, how they make the story of Candyman? I hate that movie. In the movie, the man what was going on with the candy guy is that he was upset because allegedly he had fell in love with a white woman during slavery and got himself killed for it. Okay? And ever since then, this man been stalking people over the centuries. And if you said his name, Candyman, 3 times, 4 times in a row, or something like that, in a row, you gotta say it's succession. Okay, he come out because he mad. He mad because he couldn't get the white woman and they killed. This is what you black men are acting like. You acting like it's the candy dude out here. Is y'all that desperate? What is going on around here? Dude, I just feel like it's in show business everywhere. They get a certain type of black man in these show business areas and everything. And they know what their things are. they don't get people with, to me, sometimes with strong black families and stuff like that. They do this to make you look. Do you know how bad it looks right now? He's not only got a white wife, but he's messing with a white staffer, going over her house like the candy guy. I'm gonna kill you. Whatever he was doing, allegedly. I mean, this is embarrassing. No, it ain't. It ain't embarrassing. Black men, it's embarrassing for you because these men are being put up in the front. Has your face, even in Hollywood, they're being put up in the front, like as you. Like these are what these guys are. I mean, it's like they're running Birth of a Nation 100 times. Birth of a Nation stereotypes in the New Day. They even got Puffy for the Mann Act, which they call the White Slavery Act. Y'all don't even know how racial that is. Oh my God, what is going on? All through the entertainment business and sports industry are black candy men. They so desperate for the love, what it seemed like, of white men, that they will destroy their whole life and career and everything. What is going on? This is what they making y'all look like. And I know, and listen, I know this ain't the real picture of black males out here, but it's the ones they choosing. And to me, it's a psyop. Because I'm like, what the hell is going on out here? Why is it all the same men? This man apparently, allegedly, was going on after OnlyFans models too. I mean, it's obvious this man wasn't happy. Mm-mm-mm. Shame, shame, shame. Moore, who's married his wife Kelly in 2015, has 3 daughters and was fired with cause by the university on Wednesday after it came out that he had an inappropriate relationship with a staff member who has not been publicly identified. Mm-mm-mm. Lord have mercy. This is sad. And I'm going to bring up another picture because I just feel like because I'm just, it's just we the only group that seems like this. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe the press is focusing on us too much. And it's not that I'm against interracial relationships. If you're in love, you in love. But the kind of self-hate, coonish behavior that I am watching that's going across screens, that's trying to promote that these are the ideals of black men throughout these entertainment and sports arenas is crazy. This picture this week was really just I'm just let me uh let me show y'all this picture that's been circulating around the net, okay? Because it's just at this point you gotta be like, okay, how does that look? I'm just wondering, do black men in the league look around and in the NFL and baseball and everything and look around and say, damn, it's a lot of this going on. Do they feel do they feel anything when they see this? Okay. Can I pull it up? I don't know if I got the picture. It's a mm, okay. Chiefs Wags praised Brittany Mahomes after glam Christmas party night. Okay. So this is Brittany Mahomes' Christmas party and all the wags, which is wives and girlfriends of the Chiefs players. When I show black women this, they're gonna be like, what is going? Listen, I don't know, okay? But every day to me, it's not those men, but it's that to me, they are using certain messaging, in my opinion, to to kind of say something to black women. Uh, Hold on, y'all. We can get this picture up. This picture is not coming up. Damn, I want y'all to see this picture. This picture, it's been all over the place. Okay. See if I can pull it up. Okay. Did somebody delete their picture? Hold on. Oh yeah, let me see if I can pull it up on my Facebook. But this picture was amazing. I'm gonna make the commentary about it after in a minute, okay? But y'all, kind of crazy. Um, I don't know if I can pull it. Okay. Okay. I think one of my friends had it even posted up. Okay, so see if I can pull it up from them. Okay. Okay, so one of my friends had it up on. This is the way. This is all the wags of the Chiefs player at Brittany Mahomes' birthday party. Okay, are you noticing a pattern here? I mean, listen. I mean, do they? I just want to know: is that the deal? Like when you get into the NFL or the NBA? No, well, NBA is a little bit better with the black white, but the NFL, NBA, any of the sports is the prize. Here is this woman of dot of your tribe. I It makes us look like to me the messaging that it has sent, not that I care, because I think, but I don't like the messaging that the media that certain things are inferred from this, because these men can date whoever the fuck they want, and a lot of times they like the Michigan. A lot of these men are like that Michigan coach. Okay, they candy men out here. A lot of them is these women is with them, but it's not good things. Okay. So sometimes it be protection. They do be protection. Okay, black women. But here's the thing: all the women on here are white. Well, it's a couple of black ones. That's all about four. I counted about four or five, three, maybe three. One, two, and a questionable. Wow. I mean, I just wonder because you see the Chiefs team, so you're kind of like, okay. I date who you want to, love who you want to, but I do question when there is a certain narrative on all these levels of sports, and I do wonder What is it that Black parenting, what are you teaching your sons and daughters about self-love? Doesn't mean that you dislike yourself because you marry interracially. I'm not talking about, but I'm seeing this. I'm not talking about people who marry for love. I'm talking about this pattern I'm seeing across sports and entertainment worlds everywhere. That if you are a Black man, unless you're Jay Z and Jay Z and Beyonce, something like that. But if you are a Black man, you are rejecting the Black family. It's a narrative. And these Black men in the entertainment industry and sports arenas play into it heavily. So I'm wondering, is there a psychological test? Or is there some sort of thing they do out there in Hollywood and sports arenas where they pick certain men who only have to like this? And I had one person tell me that Black women are highly discouraged in in sports arenas for them to date. I had somebody tell me that who was a sports person. Okay. In certain ways. That's why these men go to places like, when they go to places like Michigan, all these places and stuff like that. There's hardly any Black women around. I just wanted to show it for a minute. Because it is wild. I mean, I count 1, 2, and a possible. Oh, is that a third one? Maybe a 3. I just wow. It's And then the narrative out there is that Black women, we are horrible. We're the golden, we're this and that, but we're not the ones who turned you in at your job. Wow. I don't know. I can go so many ways with this narrative, but I just don't want. I'm tired. It's such a. It's the same thing that's played out, and it reminds me of because what this, especially this guy from Michigan, it seems like he is not only just did the worst to his wife, but now he's accused of harassing his side chick. It's Candyman behavior. It's birth of a nation behavior. And it's like, do you get, are they putting these men in place to play out these narratives and stereotypes? Because most of the majority of Black men that I know and around, they are not doing, they not chasing. I don't know what's going on around here. Why is it y'all in the entertainment industry and in the sports? And I've heard every kind of excuse for the reason these men don't like to date within their own culture. And then they want to run back to us when they get their asses handed to them. Moving on. It's just the man ruined his whole career. You could have divorced her. If you want to be out here on the field and play, divorce is okay. If you realize that, damn, you know what? I know this is hard. Nobody wants to end a marriage. Marriage is a sacred. Vows are sacred. Nobody wants to end it, but you can. If you see you say, I thought I was happy in this, but I really ain't. This shit ain't for me. Whatever. It's okay. And it might take you a minute to get to the point, but don't ruin your fucking $30 million. Don't ruin $30 million. And listen, for heaven's sakes, men, Black men who are in high positions and you are in love with the snow bunny syndrome, You are a candy man in effect. Please do not mess with your staffers or white teen women that are too young for you. They're going to Shannon Sharp you. They're going to Michigan. You know what? No better. Why am I sitting up here trying to? Because this is just lack of sex. That's why I said this be Candyman behavior. I can't control it. I want this woman so bad. It's embarrassing. It's really sad. Whole career gone. $30 million. Poof. I wouldn't be surprised if she's suing him later. I mean, and he just messed up his career. Hopefully he can restore. Because what I see, what's gonna happen, I'm gonna tell you what my thing. What's probably gonna happen is the white woman gonna take all his money, or she might decide to stay if she think he got some potential left. Gonna take all that money, and he gonna end up in church somewhere because I noticed the last place he went was a church, okay? And he either gonna get some sister to buy the narrative, some sister. Oh Lord. Or some other white woman who's way just, but it's just I can't whatever. The man messed up, and here is this is these narratives that happen, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's move on to the next story, y'all, because I'm like, I don't even know what to say about that. All right. Okay, Jermaine Dupri explains why he does not believe in marriage. Okay. Let's listen to Jermaine talk about who fumbled Janet Jackson. Why he doesn't believe in marriage.
To go down the block so niggas can see you.
Who wasted Janet Jackson's time for like 9 fucking years. Is Jermaine on the screen? He's on there. Can y'all hear it? Can we get ready to hear what nonsense is Jermaine talking today? Well, at least I tell you, it's a warning to you ladies out here about what he really like. So if you're wanting something serious in life, Jermaine Dupri is not the guy to go to. Okay, if you go to Jermaine Dupri and you're out here crying and afterwards saying, "Well, he's gonna marry me," here's this video to tell you he's not interested in marriage, ladies. So quit trying to go over there and make the man fucking interested. He not. Well, I think I can change him. No. But let's listen.
When the new women can see you, and it's like, if you have aspirations for D-boy lifestyle, I don't know how marriage works. I remember one day I was in one of them places where they got the boats and shit. Like, I don't know where we was at, but
Monte Carlo,
Central. It was. I don't even remember, but I thought I was doing something. I had rented like a 140-foot yacht, whatever, and I had girls on the boat. They was topless. The music was popping. You know, that's the place where they put the boats beside each other and all this. The waves start moving crazy. My boat start moving, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's this big-ass boat that's coming, right? Like a 250. Something crazy.
Some wild shit.
Some super dumb shit.
80-year-old.
And the nigga that was on the boat was Marty Bandier. He was the CEO of EMI Publishing, which became Sony Publishing now. And I'm signed to Sony Publishing. He pulled his boat right beside my boat. He saw us partying. He saw the girls. He did all this. He jumped off his boat and came to my boat and said, JD, don't ever be the nigga that owned that boat over there. And I was like, and it ain't hit me till afterwards. I'm like, I looked at his boat and it was big, but it was quiet as fuck. It wasn't nobody dancing. Wasn't no women on that motherfucker. It was just him and his family, and he wanted to be on my boat. I don't feel like you buy the Lamborghini for your wife. You buy the Lamborghini to go down the block so niggas can see you and the new women can see you. And it's like, if you have aspirations.
Jermaine. Was that who told you that with the big boat? You, oh God, when people, oh God, men aspirations to be a D boy, a dummy, a dumb boy. Is that what the aspirations are, to be a dumb motherfucker? Because let me tell you why he told you that. Men who are married have stability. You know why he's able to get that big boat? Because yeah, he might want to come hang out with you for a minute on that boat with the topless chicks and everything like that, but just for a minute. He going back on his big ass boring boat that you call boring and shit, because he understands stability helps build wealth. He understands stability helps men stabilize themselves. You got the right partner though. You have to have the right partner sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be hard. It can take years. But stability helps with it. The shit you doing on that boat with all the topless girls and stuff is gonna take you right down to Snow Bunny Hall of Fame. No, it's not. It may not be Snow Bunny. Art Kelly Hall of Fame. Puffy Hall of Fame, and put you right on and catch some cases. Catch some bitches talking about how, I mean, every now and then it's fun to do the, hey, when you young and single on the boat, hey, you know, I'm partying on the boat, I'm kicking it on the boat. It's fun to do that. But to continue that every day, that's why he told you that. He was trying to eliminate the competition in hopes that you be dumb enough to tell this story. And somebody else is gonna be dumb enough to listen to it and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Don't have the boat, don't have a big old boat. The 250 almost knocked your boat off. You and the topless chicks almost knocked your boat off the water. He came on that boat just to party with you for a minute and then tell you, hey, don't be the nigga with the big boat. Don't be the what? Are you dumb? Like you, I know he dumb because he had Janet Jackson. Okay. I'm on that. I'm just stop right there. You fumbled, Janet. You had a 9-year. What could she be? Did she fumble me? You know why I know she didn't fumble you? Because I've been listening to you talk the last few shows, the last few interviews. Jermaine, he told you that because he knows when you have too much sexual access and you have way too, and you lack sexual discipline, you're never going to be the nigga with the big boat anyway. He wants to keep you that nigga on the boat partying and with all the kind of women. He's being stable on the big boat. He's stable on the big, which means he probably got big money, way more money than you could ever see. Wealthy men understand something. Even if they run around here cheating and doing all kind of shit, one thing wealthy men understand is stability builds wealth. Married men typically tend to be more wealthy. And they have a certain amount of discipline. Well, not the one at Michigan State University. And if they do got side chicks, I mean, you know, they very well, Jermaine Dupri, don't be the dummy that listens to the man on the boat, the bigger boat, tell you don't be the man on the big boat and he think that's smart. He actually thought that story was smart to tell. Don't be the man. And I realized it's just him and his family on the boat. Okay, he was having a boring fucking day. When people are stable and they usually have, but he ain't having no boring fucking life. That's why he got that big yacht. Because his whole world, he can do anything at any time that he wants to. While you out there partying with 10 and 20 chicks on a boat, topless, screwing around, having a lack of sexual discipline, lack of this and that. Them motherfuckers is making money hands over fist. And you sitting up here talking about, see, he told me don't be the nigga on the big boat. Don't be the nigga with the big boat. Dumbass. Dumb as fuck. That's why. What happened? That's why Let me shut up. That's why it's where it's at today, right? We got time for the foolishness. Don't listen to foolish people. This week I heard something from Oprah this week. I got to talk about this too this week. I can't find the Oprah. Oprah was having a discussion with TD Jakes. Let me see if I can find it. I want to. Sometimes I just want to say. Sometimes y'all can't listen to celebrities. Sometimes celebrities be having the dumbest advice. Like Jermaine Dupri just said that. Like he tried to make, if your aspirations is to be a D boy, okay, it's okay to be a single man for the rest of your life, a bachelor man. Listen, let me tell you something. Especially if you're a disciplined man, it talks about that you can do way more things as a single person your life if you're dedicated, but you can't be a hoish person. You be and out there all that never helps you. If you lack sexual discipline, that's gonna catch your ass. Okay, trust me on that. Especially in this day and time when these women is different, baby. They different. Like women are very different. Okay, and you try to mess with 7 or 8 of them, you sure gonna. Eventually, you might catch a case. Playing in these days and times. Okay. Playing ain't like it used to be. Now, if you're a man that just want to have that, you got a roster, and you just like, hey, I'm sexually disciplined. I know when to be disciplined. I'm not gonna run around here being no hoe, having 50 girls on a boat, everybody screwing each other and stuff like that. I mean, or you do orgies every blue moon. I don't never think of orgies any good, okay? But if you do them every blue moon and stuff like that's your lifestyle you want to live, okay. But you have to have some discipline to be that man on that big boat. To me, it sounds like you a motherfucker that lack discipline. And I understand why Janet, congratulations. I see why Janet ran up out of there. This is the Negro that said he spent all that money at Magic City, didn't he? He said he used to go spend $10,000 a night. So he actually probably has some discipline, a sexual discipline. My personal opinion, some sort of problem is being disciplined sexually. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody who feels money means I can just run around here and just screw and enjoy my screw everybody. Allegedly. This is just my thought, how I see it from the things he has said. Okay. So girls, understand what this person is. Okay. Don't be going around Jermaine Dupri trying to have nothing serious. First of all, what he said ain't that smart. That man eliminated the competition. And it's the second time they did you like that. Who else did Jermaine Dupri like that? Was it Jay-Z that tried to convince him not to do the Super Bowl halftime thing? I mean, to do the production, and Jay-Z ended up doing it, allegedly. Jermaine, they convincing you all the wrong stuff. And you mind it. Don't be the man on the big boat. Fool, he almost knocked over you and them hoes. Oh, funny. Okay, moving on. Don't listen to Jermaine Dupri, okay? But let me tell y'all what Oprah said this week that was crazy. I was like, are we serious here, Oprah? See, that's why even Oprah, as much as I love Oprah, sometimes people I don't always love Oprah. I be getting mad at Oprah too. Sometimes these celebrities be saying stupid stuff. You gotta be like, what? Sometimes you have to be like, what did you just say? Let me see if I can pull it up, y'all. Oprah was in an interview with Bishop Jakes. They've been showing a lot of the of her. Let me see if I can find it in my a lot of her things this weekend. A lot of the clips from it. See if maybe I have it in my clips. Hold on, let me see. Look, y'all, for a minute. Okay. See if I can find it. If I put it in my messages. Okay, if I can find this. Okay. Oprah said something this week that I was just like, seriously, Oprah? I mean, really, Be careful. It just made me mad. And it just said to myself, I just said that everything, you can't pay attention to everything celebrities say. Sometimes they say wild stuff, okay? But Oprah was talking to Bishop Jason. She said, stop taking care of people that are not willing to take care of yourselves. But in this thing, she said, which I agree with. I can agree with almost everything Oprah said except for this part. She said, you should never give anyone more money than they've earned. Okay, y'all gotta listen. Y'all like, huh, Kid, what? We call that sound right to me. Okay, let me listen, let y'all hear it, okay?
Serve them when you continue to take care of people who refuse to take care of themselves. So this is what I had to learn. I had to learn that it was my decision. And I was so troubled by this in the beginning because what I made was in the paper. So I could no longer say I don't have the money. Because people say, I know you got it because I read about that. In my house, I need a new porch and I need a new car and I needed this. And so, I mean, there was a time back in, I think, I used to pray on this all the time of, Lord, help me. How do I do this? How do I do it? And this is what I've learned. I've bought houses and cars and homes for people who lost them. I've put so many people through school. I've given so much money. And this is what I learned in the end. You should never, this is the best advice you're going to get on this. You should never give anybody any more money than they've already earned. That's good. And the reason why you should never give them any more money, because when somebody asks you so in the beginning, my family always needed $500 when I was in Baltimore. The day I moved to Chicago, everybody needed $5,000. The day it was announced I was syndicated, everybody then needed $50,000. Nothing worked unless they had $50,000. And so this is what the professor of economics told me this, that when you give people more money than they've ever been able to earn, they have no idea of what that is. And you do not serve them when you continue to take care of people who refuse to take care of themselves. So this is what I had to learn.
Okay, so what she said was, and listen, she said not that they've earned, she said never give people any more money than they've earned. And the reason that you don't give them more money than they earn, because they don't know what that looks like. Because an economic person told her, a person, like say for instance, they make $60,000 a year. If you're going to give them some money, only give them $60,000 a year, because they don't know what to do with that because they ain't never made more, earned more than that. That is what she said. Okay, so she said don't give people, and now I agree with the mission about not giving people money when they can't refuse to take care of themselves and all that stuff. I agree. I can get that. I respect that. Okay, and sometimes you got to have some grace and mercy for people, but I understand what she's saying here. Okay, but she said don't give nobody no money more. Not well, bitch. How did you get your money? Because I know, Oprah, when you moved to Chicago on that day, that ABC decided to give you, or was it ABC distributing the Oprah Winfrey Show, CBS, whoever the hell it was. They gave you more money, because I remember you talking about how you got your first check and you went out and bought a bunch of stockings. Because you ain't never had that, your luxury was stockings and you didn't have no money. Girl, they gave you $100 million and you ain't never had no fucking $100 million. How did you do with that? You did pretty good. You done did pretty good. Okay. So that's a dumb thing to say. Well, don't give nobody ever an economic person, because what does that look like to them? Well, what the fuck did it look like to you? Okay, just say this. Here's the deal. Just don't give nobody no money. Don't sow bad. I always tell people this. Don't sow. What I learned from my spiritual sister, who is loves the Lord, always has a good word. She said to me, do not sow seed in bad ground. As simple as that. When you're not seeing a return on what you've given. Ain't no don't see Oprah trying to be deep and it sounds dumb. Because I'm like, who gave you all that money? Somebody gave you $1 billion. They gave you $1 billion. Did you not know what to do with it? They gave you $1 million. You figured out what the fuck to do with it. What is she talking about? That's just crazy. That's just to me. Sometimes black celebrities be saying some crazy stuff, and they don't remember. They're unreminded of the grace that they've been given. Like, you didn't know what to do with $1 million, Oprah. Wasn't your ass the one out there saying that you calling Gail up in the middle of the night crying over some man outside bus stops and shit? You didn't know what the hell to do with $1 million. But they gave it to you. And she said never more than they earn, meaning their salary. She wasn't talking about, well, she could probably say, well, I earned that $1 million. No, you said never give anybody more salary than they've already had because they wouldn't know what to do with it. That's not a true statement. Some people will know how to do it. Some people, you might change their life. The thing is to understand and be smart and discerning about people when you're giving to people. Make sure one of my friends told me the reason people don't get back sometimes because they sow in them bad ground. You giving money into somebody that ain't go. Now, if you keep giving a crackhead, you go out here and you give somebody who you know on crack $50,000. You say, I know you on crack. You know they on crack. You know they gonna smoke that $50,000 up. Okay, that's a bad seed. That's a bad ground. You see it right there. You like, oh Lord have mercy. That is not the thing to do. Or if you give it to a wealthy person who look like they handle their money well, but you see that all kind of bad deals and wicked deals surround them, why would you sow into them? Because see, sometimes it can look like, because a lot of people think, oh, well, they got the money, as long as they got the bag, honey. No, some people got the bag and don't know they just as wicked. They got the bag from stealing from everybody else. But yeah, I didn't get this, what Oprah was talking about. Oprah wasn't that deep. Okay. But I understood the other things what she was saying about not giving to people and how your whole family be trying to take money and all this. So see, I'm a person that practice. No. I can say it in all kind of ways. No. I can see it. No. Oh, no. See, you know what I'm saying? I learned to say no. Okay. But you don't have to get this deep talk about don't get nobody more than they earned and all that stuff. Shut up, Oprah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so 50 Cent documentary about Puffy. First of all, I don't like 50 Cent has always reminded me of this guy I knew when I was younger. And I've told the story on my old podcast about this guy. His name that grew up with a young kid, and he had a horrible childhood. He's just never a trustworthy person. Even though he ended up. I mean, it was just a terrible story. But 50 Cent gives me that same energy and spirit. He's a petty cancer, okay. And 50 is upset to me. It sounds like because Puffy was taking care allegedly of his baby. You know what I'm saying. Maybe his baby mama allegedly, and paying her mortgage and stuff like that, making you look bad and having, and doing freak offs. Okay. So people say, how do you feel about the documentary? And this isn't because I feel that Puffy to me should not be where he's at right now, because I am a person who hates precedents. It has nothing to do that. Do I think Puffy was a monster and beating up Cassie and stuff like that? No, I don't like no man hitting on nobody, no woman. Okay. I think, yes, he was a monster, but I also think Cassie was irresponsible, didn't take no accountability for the lifestyle she chose to live, for choosing to get her ass whooped and letting a monster stay out there for many years. And who knows who other people's ass he done whooped all those years and stuff like that, because her ass refused to go to the cops and put him in jail. And y'all say, well, she couldn't do this and that. We always want to have women lack accountability. Women, you are some of the most powerful creatures on the planet. They are moving you outside of your power when they tell you you don't have the ability to choose your destiny and destination. Unless somebody is holding a gun at your hand, unless a motherfucker got a gun at your head, unless a motherfucker holding you hostage, stuff like that. If you have any free time at the end of the day and somebody whooping your ass and beating your ass, you better get free time to go down to the police station and try your best to get in the way. Yes, you might risk your life, but it's your life. It's your, otherwise, you ain't got no choice. And women, I think what happens too is that when we start to tell you that you can't, that, oh, you can't help being abused, you can't help this and that, well, then it leads you to getting into other abusive relationships because you think you got some sort of disease where you pick out bad men. And so you don't start looking for the signs of what some a terrible person is because you think you got some sort of disease. I can't help. I've been so abused in my childhood, and I just couldn't help picking him out. No, you are a powerful human being, capable of discernment. And when you lack discernment, when you make a mistake and you realize you made a mistake, you are powerful and capable of making a decision to get out of it. But I always have to tell women the seriousness of not going through. I mean, we all do crazy things, okay? None of us are perfect, but there is a seriousness to the choices you make and the dating choices you make and the marriage choices you make. And if you don't take responsibility for the people and things you choose, that's what you got to do. Now, nobody's responsible. Is Cassie responsible for getting her ass? I mean, is she irresponsible? I mean, did she deserve an ass whooping? No, she didn't deserve that. Diddy is responsible for that behavior, but Cassie is responsible for staying in a relationship and continuing. And then when she got out of it, she doesn't show back up, but for a check. Because sometimes the abusers can be bad. People who are abused can be manipulative and stuff too. Listen, that's a whole nother story. Okay, that's why I say every abusive situation needs to be looked at individually because there's a lot of stuff going on in different things. Like you got tons of women on For My Man, tons of women in jail right now who was with abusive partners who let that abusive partner convince them to take somebody's life, convince them to do all kind of crazy things. They don't have to just, you can't be sitting up in jail unless he was holding you hostage or something like that. They saying you going straight to jail. Did you have a chance to call the police? And you say, well, I went home and stayed at home all night and he wasn't nowhere around, but I was scared to call the police. They like, you could have called us. Okay. And you going to go to jail too. That's how that, because they say, hey, you could have did something about something. If you commit a crime and it ain't they not going to let you lean on your abuse. Only time they do that is when a woman has been suffering abuse at the hand of a man for many years and she ends up killing him in the end. And there was a proof, and there ends up being proof that abuse was going on and stuff like that. They tend to give her a domestic violence overturn and stuff like that because of that on situations like that. But for the most motherfucking part, you guys have to be, if you make the choices for your life. And I happen to believe women are powerful beings. And so I believe that Cassie acted outside of unaccountability and power because she liked the lifestyle. And I said that on here plenty of times. Now, I don't think Diddy deserved that thing that the years he got because Diddy to me, that case was not about domestic violence. If it was a case about domestic violence, put his ass in jail. But Cassie refused to. She never called the cops all those years. She never did nothing. Case, and none of the other people who claim to be abused never did nothing. So unfortunately for you, the statute of limitations have ran out, and it is what it is. Okay. So I see no victims here. But when Diddy, so to me, and then all the rest of this stuff that's in this documentary, we've heard 1,000 times. There are so many scenarios about. I've heard every kind of scenario about who killed fucking Tupac and Biggie. It's been everybody. I done heard every motherfucking body be a suspect. Suge Knight, Doo Bear. They even had Snoop as a suspect. They got everybody. They had all kind of people as suspects to that. Whoever killed their people. Okay. Now y'all trying to bring up Diddy. Talking about Diddy, Diddy. Y'all got no proof. This is crazy to hear say documentary. We all know about the horrible things that happened with Diddy when they had the sports thing. I mean, they had the basketball thing. Is Diddy a likable person? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There are lots of bad things not likable about Diddy. And it shows that when you have fame and power and you misalign yourself and use it in the wrong way, you can abandon all sense of humanity that's inside of you and end up doing some monstrous things. However, do I think that everybody that's listening, that every human being in the world has that capability inside of them? Yes, I do. You have to stay spiritually grounded and everything. Diddy, in my opinion, this documentary is made with somebody who was hating, even though it was kind of, to me, it's regurgitating old stuff. It's regurgitating a lot of things. There's no proof about. They do a good job of talking about his successes and stuff like that. Uh, And I'll tell you one thing. I don't know everything that goes on with Diddy, that went on with Diddy and Diddy's personal life, but it does show you the power of that. You have to be spiritual. You cannot, it's hard to be, you have to be a spirit, you have to maintain some form of spirituality when you are dealing with that kind of level of pain. It'll make you something else. You have to stay in touch with your humanity. If you don't, man, you can become a monster out here. And that's even regular people in regular life. I see it every day on the ID channel. Regular people in regular life can lose contact with their humanity and become in their spirituality and just become something different. And 50, I'll say this for you. What happens when they come for you? See, I think 50's the type of dude who thinks I've been shot 9 times. I don't give a F what y'all do. I'm gonna enjoy it all while I'm coming down. But that's just because they ain't got you, they ain't brought to you your brand of torture. What happens when that moment happens for you? And I'm just not one of her people. Some people say, well, I'm glad Diddy in jail and all that stuff. That's because you don't understand the law and you don't understand that Diddy being in jail affects you. How did that affect me? Blah, blah, blah. Because it sets a precedence for a law that one day you could possibly be convicted under. And then you be trying to get out and time, I didn't do that. And they be trying to put a Mann Act on you and stuff like that. All these things because this is the government, because the government, they really didn't have no proof of coercion and stuff like that. Anytime somebody is found guilty, even if we don't like them, that's what the court cases are about. When you don't like somebody or you don't like what they've done, you don't like the lifestyle they live, you still got to make sure, though, that case that you try to make, because we know this judicial system I like the judicial system, but in my personal opinion, that it's just not used fairly by the people whose hands is in. But we want to make sure that the judicial system is always used fairly, because knowing that one day it could be us. So I am very balanced with the Diddy thing. I'm like, he should not be in jail right now serving time for that. Okay. But the fact that he's in jail, he's serving behind his time. And allegedly 50 Cent, women are coming out saying allegedly 50 Cent hurt them. And so you ain't serving no time. You never know when life come back on you. You know what I'm saying? So I just say be careful with that. The documentary's all right. I wasn't really that impressed. It was okay. I got to the last half of the episode. I was bored by the foot. That's all stuff I've heard before. And stuff that's been debunked by a lot of people. Some of it. Alleged. Okay. So that's how I feel about that there. Okay. Next one we want to talk about Erica Kirk. Now, Erica, I mean, I've said this woman should be sitting down somewhere resting, especially if you're going to be a CEO and run Turning Point USA or whatever for your husband or whatever. But this woman is making it worse. She is out here. I don't know if she's in grief. I've tried not to be judgmental of Erica Kirk, but the last several weeks that Erica Kirk has put herself out here, it just gets worse and worse. It looks like theater at its best. And I really think I'm trying not to judge her still. I'm trying to say, hey, maybe the way she grieves is to be dramatic. I don't know, but it's not helping Turning Point USA. You are not helping Turning Point USA. And this week, what she did with Candace Owen. So I'm gonna play a little bit of Candace Owen. This is to her. This is from the Candace show. It's responding to Erica Kirk. It says, this context on the particular issue is that Turning Point USA has a large number of financial records and newly employed people that have questionable backgrounds, histories that may have contributed to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens has requested, being one of the good friends of Charlie Kirk, a full-on, open, transparent investigation into the assassination of her friend. The issue is that she has uncovered evidence that shows receipts to the American public of why we should question Turning Point USA. Okay, so listen to Erica Kirk here.
For that, but here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode, going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this. No.
I'm sorry, but that whole thing right there is frustrating. The idea that she does not have time. She's done Hannity, she's done The Five, she's done Fox and Friends, she's done Outnumbered, she's done Megyn Kelly Live, she sat down with the New York Times, she made time to fly to DC for Sergio Gore to be sworn into the ambassador to India. She has also made time for an upcoming CBS News town hall sit down with Barry Weiss, which was filmed today. So Erica Kirk has time. It is not her priority to respond to the majority, to that point that people are making hundreds and thousands of dollars. Like, they made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish. And we've made more than, separately from Mar-a-Lago, Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night. I want to be clear that Turning Point USA is my family. The Charlie Kirk Show is my family. Like she's just expanding the wings of people that we're not allowed to critique. Oh, I'm sorry. We actually are showing a clip of Rob McCoy defending a pedophile or trying to launder reputation of that's fam. I'm sorry. We are actually pointing to the fact that we know for certain that this person or organization is sexual deviant. That's fam. Don't you get me upset. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to be very clear here. This is why there are many people who do not believe that women are equipped to lead companies, because what you are watching here is an unbelievably emotional response that is absent of any logic. Okay. If you really care about your team, answer the questions. So people don't think Turning Point USA looks so suspicious. Don't try to mom the organization and say, well, mother's upset because people are coming after her kids and all of this multi-million-dollar subsidiaries. That's my children, okay? The multi-million-dollar subsidiaries, Turning Point, like Turning Point Action, all that, those are my kids. So you can't critique them. Not a good idea.
You want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole, whatever.
Tonight,
but when you go after my family,
Erica Kirk just tweeted, let me see this here, on X, that her and Candace have agreed to a meeting. Okay. Seems like tonight at 8:01 p.m. It says this is from Erica Kirk. Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December the 15th. At Real Candace O and I have agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting. I look forward to a productive conversation. Thank you. Okay, so she's had to meet because Candace has been going. Listen here. Candace been coming for that ass, okay? Candace, I don't know if I meet with her though. Shit, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if I'm Candace. I'm meeting for a private meeting. Not the way she been on that. Erica Kirk, and to me, in Turning Point US, Erica should not even at this point be running to Turning Point. She's made such bad decisions, in my opinion. I mean, not that I care about Turning Point, but I'm just saying she's made such bad decisions in coming out publicity after publicity, selling books. She talked about Candace making all this money. What about your ass? Turning Point USA that made a lot of money. And it is weird that Charlie Kirk is dead after, and now I'm starting to believe Charlie Kirk didn't really, the reason that Charlie Kirk might be dead is because the changing of his beliefs in terms of Israel, and in terms of allegedly in terms of Israel, allegedly in terms of even Catholicism, and going to that way, what that would have done to a evangelical based organization that brings in billions and millions of dollars from donors who are evangelicals alike, or who are invested in that, not necessarily evangelicals, but are invested in that that belief system and how that belief system works and everything like that. Yeah, he would have probably destroyed it. That could have hurt that organization and a lot of people who have invested in it. And evangelicals can be Christians and people when they're deeply religious without love, can be some of the most horrific, horrifying people you have ever seen. Slavery, American slavery speaks to that. A lot of people who enslaved Black American slavery. I was watching Handmaid's Tale. I said, man, Black American slavery was far worse than Handmaid's Tale. Can you imagine waking up every day and you get, Massa, what you want to eat? Your whole life ain't nothing your life. You got a life, but it's under these people who tell you what to do, who could possibly abuse you from day to day. They can do whatever they want to do to you because they don't think you are human. These were people who said they were Christians. Now, this gives a lot of people reasons for not believing the Bible because they start saying that's a white man's religion. No, Christianity is a Middle Eastern Judeo religion. It is not a white man's religion. Okay, remember the Bible started before the Americans. The Americans, people have used the Bible for their own means over the years. Okay, and this I see is no different with this Turning Point stuff, everything like that. Okay. So there can be evil people who claim Christianity. Some of the most evil people who claim Christianity were okay with those racists bombing a church where they killed 4 young Black girls in the 50s and in the 1950s. Because these are people who are spiritual and who follow spiritual things without love. You can't be spiritually in line with anything and not have no love. Because love understands when love has the power to discern when there should be judgment, when there should be mercy, when there should be grace, when there should be forgiveness. But if you ain't got no love, you just only see a certain thing. That's why I love about the Bible. There was the Sadducees and the Pharisees in Jesus' time. And the Pharisees used to just get mad at Jesus. I mean, the Pharisees used to just hate, because Jesus would do everything against the Pharisees. The Pharisees was all about the law. Follow the law. They didn't have no love. Follow the law of the land. Jesus, you ain't supposed to be doing that on the Sabbath. Jesus do whatever. Jesus like, I am the reason for the Sabbath, baby. You know what I'm saying? But they just could not understand, because they was all about the law. And then there was the other group, the Sadducees, who just ignored a lot of the law, but called themselves spiritual. Right? So there was the extreme of them and the extreme on the other end. Okay. But when you lack love, you do not have, and you just reflective on the law or reflective on no law, then you effectively are destructive sometimes to humanity, no matter, and even if you're claiming Christianity. A lot of things have been done in the name of God in all religions, and they've been done so without love. If you don't have no love, baby, that's what the Bible says, you just a clanging cymbal. Okay. So Candace, I don't know if I meet with this chick. This chick seemed dangerous. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say that, because I've been thinking she's just grieving and she just don't know how to grieve, but she's leaning into whatever she is. To me, she needs to go sit her butt at home and rest and be with them kids, because she's out here. She reminds me of the Weatherford lady in Handmaid's Tale. I said, this is really was it Serena, I forget her name, come to life. It's her in life. That kind of scared me. I was like, oh my God. And if you ever seen The Handmaid's Tale about this character, it reminds me so much of her. I was like, ooh. And then there's so much connected to Charlie Kirk, to her family, that just makes people raise their eyebrows. Candace, baby. I don't know. Because, they got lots of different ways, allegedly, they can mess you up nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They can touch you, and, some people, give you disease. I don't know, Candace. I mess with Candace has really been putting herself on the line for Charlie Kirk. Okay. I don't know what went on with her and Charlie Kirk, but I mean, they seemed like they were just good friends, and he was changing his mind. And Candace is saying, hey, this is something that a lot of people are not believing the narrative of what happened to Charlie Kirk. But I can tell that her meeting with Candace, Charlie Kirk's wife decided to meet with Candace, is showing me that it has not been going the way she wanted it to go. That she needs to talk to Candace, because she needs to try to get Candace on her side, because the way that she has been moving has been reckless. And I hope Candace pays attention. And not that I'm a big Candace fan, but Candace needs to pay attention to that. She needs you right now. She wouldn't have met with you. She thought she was going to be out here, and she thought all them stairs and that dab of tissue and everything. She thought that everybody was going to stay the same, and like, oh, I'm feeling sorry for her and stuff like that. But people started like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Like, she was just the other day telling women about how she wished women wouldn't wait for kids and all this stuff. But yes, she out here like, running around, and I'm like, have you been home to the kids? I mean, come on, because that's what y'all believe. So all this, the publicity thing that she's been on, has not worked. Erica Kirk has been, in my personal opinion, has been a detriment to her own messaging. And now she thinks that Candace is the only, if I can get Candace back on my side, I get her at least to calm down. I can stop the bleed, because really she's done this bleed. All she had to do was be at home and put somebody out there who knew the facts and everything, and then came in slowly to being CEO, learning about the organization privately and stuff like that. She's just ready to jump out here, and she's made a mess of things. And the reason she's made a mess of things is because she's meeting with Candace. She's got to, because they haven't been answering the questions. And there are a lot of people who are siding with Candace, going, well, wait, you're hugging on JD Vance funny. You're making funny looks in the thing. Now the goodwill for for whatever people thought she was going through with Charlie has run its course. And now people are starting to look at her like, okay, this seems strange. Okay. And that's why I said when I saw her, when you in grief, take some time for yourself to heal. Don't be out here trying to make no moves real quick, because you end up looking crazy. Crazy for her, okay? Moving on to the next story, y'all. Kimora Lee. Kimora was on, what was Kimora on? Somebody's show. Kimora says, this is from Gossip Official. It says Kimora Lee Simmons is speaking candidly about her relationship or lack thereof with the fathers of her children. Okay, and I guess this was on Gossip. And it's from Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast. Okay, that's where it's from. Okay, so let's listen.
Living.
Five. Well, 6. No, 7.
And you're doing this all on your own, like the fathers of the children are not
so
involved?
Weird because I think I used to be a little different. They're not involved. I'm alone. Not really even around. And they're welcome to be around, just to clarify for the record. They're welcome to be around on their, at their will and leisure. My kids are all big enough and old enough to have their own relationships and do their own things. So it's not about me at all. It's just.
What a loss for them.
I feel like that too.
Yeah.
They don't know. I don't know what they know. Maybe they're intimidated, or maybe they're like, oh, she's got it. Or they're like, I don't want to get in her way. Or maybe they're like, I don't like her. I don't know. I think a lot goes through their head though about the other parent and less about the child. As a mother, you cannot imagine.
You cannot imagine. Yeah. So how many kids do you have living in your house currently?
5. Well, 6. No, 7.
And you're doing this all on your own, like the fathers of the children are not involved?
Weird because I think I used to be a little different. They're not involved. I'm alone. Not really even around. And they're welcome to be around, just to clarify for the record. They're welcome to be around on their, at their will and leisure. My kids are all big enough and old enough to have their own relationships and do their own thing.
Okay, Kimora is saying that she doesn't think that. First of all them kids is almost grown, ain't they? They grown as hell. But the one thing I couldn't buy with Kimora saying was that, financially and stuff like that, like she's basically on her own. No, Kimora. And I love me some Kimora, okay? Because I used to love the reality show Kimora you had when she was years ago. But I also know Kimora starting a new reality show. That's why she's out here. I saw little pieces of it. I haven't seen the actual reality show yet. But let me just say this to Kimora Lee Simmons. You would not be Kimora. Listen, Russell Simmons, no matter what the shit was going on with you and Russell, okay? Whatever the fuck was going on, the age differences and everything. Because like I heard her say the other day, talking about, she talking about, we're going to play that part too by Aoki. Aoki, if I can find that part. But she was saying, she was talking about, we'll get to that part. I'll talk to that part in a minute. But one thing you got to do is, I think you can't put Russell in a thing of not being supportive. Russell is the reason for it all. Even if you don't like Russell, if you don't like Russell's behavior, even if you don't like how Russell been moving, you cannot deny that it's Russell Simmons who said, hey, run fat, gave you the opportunity to run fat for him, gave you the opportunity to blow up past his spouse or whatever. You can't say you didn't take that and run with it. I mean, I just don't think you come for Russell like that. I understand if you don't like, you say, hey, not right now at this time, me and Russell are having some disagreements and everything, but I can't put him in the thing with all the rest of my baby dad, because Russell is the reason that we got here. Russell is the reason that I'm known. I may not like what Russell's doing now. Me and Russell might not be getting along. We may be at disagreements for things, but I'll never deny what he's done to give me the opportunity and my children the opportunity. I just wish that he would be more of a father now, or be what it is that now. But to imply like Russell's some sort of deadbeat, I don't think you can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because Russell did give that. Russell gave all that. Okay, just my personal opinion. Now they say Russell Simmons responds to ex Kamora Lee Simmons claiming that she doesn't have a relationship with her kid's father. Okay, so Russell responds. It says this is from Yahoo Entertainment. It says Russell Simmons says he's been fighting for the love of his and Kamora Lee Simmons' kids after the model turned fashion mogul recently told people that she doesn't have a relationship really with her kid's father. Her ex-husband, 68, responded in part by saying, "There are two sides to every story. I gave you $50,000 a month for 20 years." Russell, who shares daughters Ming Lee and 25, and Aoki Lee, 23, with Kamora, wrote on Threads on December 14, "I was your best and only friend. I'm the godfather to your other 3 kids until one day you stole my stock. I have been fighting for my kids' love and my bread ever since," he continued. "You threatened that if I sued you, I would never speak to my kids again. There are two sides to every story," okay? Beyond claiming that she did not maintain relationships with the father of her children, Kamara also told people that she credits her village of friends and family and people my kids can rely on for helping her through. "Usually I would say that I co-parent okay, but the kids are with me full time," she explained. "I'm pretty much the primary parent. It's difficult, but I don't know sometimes what other people are thinking. Guys are weird." But there are choices that you made. You're weird too, because you made those choices. Okay, but me and Aoki are older, but I think they still very much like our mom. And I think that's okay, she added. "For sure, they can come to me. They live at home. They travel the world, and they have a place in New York." Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I just really think that you can't come for Russell in that way financially. Like Russell, I remember when she was real cool with Russell and the space that it seemed like, I don't know if that we were all wrong to about it, but the space that when that old reality show was on, it seemed like Russell was super supportive of Kamora. That's always the energy it gave off, that Russell like handed her fat form and said, "Do what you will." Like, and let her build her own legend. Like Kamora Lee said, you talk about you want to talk about 2 chicks in the show business, but no, 3 chicks in the show in the show business where their husbands was wealthy. I can name off the top of my head that turned that money out. Kamora Lee Simmons, Tracy Edmonds, Aisha Curry. Aisha Curry got her own shit, right? You know, do cooking show and all that stuff and everything. Now I see where women have taken their spaces in marriages and said, "Oh, I'm gonna do this up." Because a lot of people, I hear people talk about Aisha on some of these shows, and they be talking about Aisha as if she's not successful. No, Aisha has successful restaurants. She has 2 successful restaurants, one in San Francisco, one I think in one I went to eat at in Vegas, very good. She has she was successful with those cookbooks and cooking shows. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you know, and then there's Tracy Edmonds, who just became a producer of film and movies, and really just used, when she was with Babyface, used that platform to do great things. And then there's Kamara, who was the beginning of it, where you seen a wife be a boss and take her husband's business and do fabulous, wonderful things. I mean, I think that's partly Russell. And it seemed like they had a great friendship during that time, okay? Even when they divorced. So it's, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I could really, I mean, I just feel like she had to be a little bit more clear when she talks about Russell, because I believe that Russell is the reason. You can't deny him that. You just can't. That's just my personal opinion. It's yeah, that's a hard thing to do. And then she also kind of talks about Aoki and the and being with the older guy. Let me see. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it on here where she talks about it. From this podcast. Again. Finally, I can see. Let me see. I don't know, y'all, if I can find the what Kimura said. Mm. And I need to watch the rest of this interview too, but I was trying to find. Let's see here, y'all. We'll find it in just a second. Okay. I mean, it's so funny. I kept seeing clips all around. Now I can't find them. We'll see. If I can find them for y'all, I will. Let's see. Let me try YouTube real quick if I can find this on there for y'all. And I'm going to talk about Brian McKnight's, wife Julie's interview too. We will. Okay. I don't know if I can find it, y'all. I thought I could. I hate having dead space, but I'm trying to find it for y'all. This was really one of my things I had up, and okay. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. We'll share this tab. Okay. This is her talking about Aoki having a relationship with the older man in the press.
Other press with the 65-year-old man.
First of all, I know this guy, but I didn't know this guy in that capacity, like with my kid, or that you were even dating my kid, or even I know this guy growing up myself. I don't know, I don't want to get into troubles legally, but I think his reputation probably precedes him. So I was learning some of these things as I went along too. And
were you like, what the hell are you doing, Aoki, or no?
I was, but I didn't say it in that way because it was this fast that it blew up to be so much. And so then you can't be the mom that's like, what the hell are you doing? But that definitely was the thing. But it went from 0 to 100 really quick. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was a thing. I found out when the world found out. But I do think in general of those kind of things, I do think it's predatorial. We said all of that to get to what Kimura thinks about it. I think that's predatorial and kind of crazy.
Aoki also had some other press with the 65-year-old man.
Okay, that's very interesting that she said it's predatorial. She was a lot older, a lot younger when she started dating Russell allegedly too. The 90s is a different space for me. I always say this to people: the 80s, and the 90s. It's not that it wasn't some elements of predatorial things going on, but the young women in the 80s of the 90s, especially if you come out of urban areas, urban street areas, it was the emergence of hip hop during those times. Certain images, including Kimora Lee Simmons and Russell Simmons and people like that, images were all over the television. It was a time where that wasn't looked at, those type of relationships wasn't looked on. They were looked on as somewhat bad, but not really bad. There were a lot of young girls out there. I remember I talked about in my high school, they used to try to hustle older dudes, everything. And they were very good because the crack era produced a different type of person in that urban arena at that time. 80s, 90s, very much so. Today's kids, definitely, I would say more predatory. We know more now. We understand more about that situation. Back then, kind of predatory, but the women were also 18 in the crack era was a different thing. 15 in the crack era was a different thing in those urban streets and urban areas. I always say this, doesn't mean it wasn't some elements of predatory, but there were some elements where 15-year-olds were 20-year-olds in their mind. It was a crack era produces different time. It's just it is what it is. A different type of maturity and a different type of thing. Doesn't mean it was good. It just means that we had less understanding. And it was a time, it's just like in the olden days, my grandmother them said 14-year-olds would marry 35-year-olds, but a 14-year-old in 1920 was very different than a 14-year-old in 1991. Or a 14-year-old in 2025, because what's going on is at 14-year-old, you're almost considered a woman. You're almost considered living close to half your lifespan. 23 in the 1920s, lifespans was 46 to 50 years old. 14-year-olds were on farms doing grown women stuff at 19 and 20. We had a less understanding of letting children be children, or extending children's childhoods. At that time, children, especially in the country and stuff like that, didn't have childhoods like today. The introduction of when you get into the 1930s, 30s and 40s, when you start going towards the industrial age, it's not that people didn't believe kids were kids in the 1920s, and some people probably didn't look at those relationships as bad. But as we get into the 1930s, 40s, and then the industrial age, and we start to hit child labor laws and things like that, we start redirecting our attention to what children are, and how long children should be children, and how children should be treated. So every era has a different thing, okay? So that's just, and it's hard for people to accept that, but it's true to me, in my opinion, okay? So you have to look at every era different, and especially the era of Kimora Lee Simmons, because that was pretty much a relationship that was out there, and a lot of girls would have loved to be Kimora at that time. Even though he was way too old for Kimora's ass at that time. But girl, that hip hop era was a very different era. So yeah, very interesting. Okay. Okay. Brian McKnight, Julie McKnight was on. Her and her son was on. Mark Mont. Let me see. Do I have it up? Do I have something up here from it? Let's see. Okay, and I'll let y'all see some of the little parts of it.
Mark Lamont Hill, a Patreon exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Mook was there. You were too.
Mm-hmm. And y'all weren't separated, right?
No, we were together.
Okay.
And his brother let me know, and his assistant at the time was a dear friend of ours. They were there, and they let us know that we were moving, and that he had set an apartment up down the street from the house. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, Tyler Perry, you owe me some cash, man, because that scene from that was my life. And I said, so what are you talking? Moving truck, not done. I had to figure out, I called my cousin at the time. He had a moving company. This is Los Angeles. They came to move me out. moved me into, and he moved me into an apartment maybe 10 minutes down the road, you know, and that's what the plan was. And I'm in a fog because, first of all, I could have, the Julie that I am now, Kat, you can go. Why am I moving with my kids? But at that time, I was like, you know what, I just want to be, I want to be out. I want to be out. I want to be out. And we moved. And yes, the apartment, the rent was paid. There was no spousal support. We weren't divorced. There was no money. Even when I was living there at the height of everything that he did, I controlled none of that. And my $1,000 allowance in the household was for me to handle whatever else. It was a lot of control.
Mm-hmm.
If you need more, I'll give you more. But I'm like, I'm running an entire 8,000 square foot house, and you want to give me this, and this is what we do. Okay, fine, I can handle it.
You know what? I want to start. Julie's talking about the relationship with Brian McKnight, and when she lived in the house, he was very controlling with allegedly with money and things like that. He had only given her $1,000 to run a full 8,000 square foot house and all this stuff. She talks about the contracts of, with her kids and a lot of control. Here's what I want to say about the sign of Gemini. Because often people love to say this is Scorpios, but one thing people don't ever talk about, especially Gemini males, is control, the control that Gemini males love to have. Nobody talks about it. I don't hear it as much with Gemini women. They only talk about Scorpio women and Scorpio men in the sign of controlling. But nobody talks about the Gemini males and the sign of control. And controlling, how much control fucking freaks they are. Not think about Prince. Think about just name. We can name a lot of celebrity males who are Geminis who display control freak effort. They have to be in control. Nobody talks about the sign of Gemini and how controlling it can be, especially in love relationships. So I believe Julie in this, okay? Definitely. People talked about Prince, how Prince, especially during the time when he was dating Denise Matthews, allegedly, which was AKA Vanity. Allegedly, Prince was a fucking control freak, would only give her so much money a month, a week to control her. So she wouldn't leave. He'd only give her so much money. And she said sometimes she would be hurting from it. He wouldn't give her to control that. Gemini, okay? And I won't name the other Gemini male stories I've heard about control everything. Very true. That is a far thing that is not studied enough. Gemini males and their issues with being controlling, even though they're a free sign. I'm a free sign. We're free about our personalities and everything, but all of them personalities will work together to control you. Okay, so back to Julie. This man allegedly, Julie came home from North Carolina because her and her family would go visit in the summertime when Brian was touring and on tour. They would go to North Carolina to visit her family. She remained really close to her family. Now, there is some red flags in there that Julie said that I'm kind of understood why her and Bryant had so many problems. Julie didn't deny that she has some issues too. But Bryant, she said one of the things that the reason why she broke the relationship was because this man wouldn't stop having girlfriends, allegedly. Okay. So, but one day she comes home from South Carolina. This is on Mark Lamont's show. Fair use. I hope fair use on this one. But she's on there and she's saying that she gets home and there's a moving truck out in front of her house to move her and her kids down the street to a townhome from the house. Listen, couldn't have been me. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, that's when the scorpion would have came out. My friends would have had to calm me down, calm my ass down. Don't do it. Don't end up in jail. Because I would have waited till night and blew that motherfucker up. Julie sweet though. Okay, listen to tell you. I'm gonna blow all this shit. You know what I'm saying? I would have been that girl on what's that Diary of a Mad Black Woman when she put that oil Vaseline. The oil around the what's she trying to blow up the house? I know. What's her name? And Wait to Exhale. Shoot, that's my ass. Blow the whole house while I'm walking away, blowing the whole fucking car blowing up. Nah. If you had told me, I know I wouldn't have left. Not my house. Oh, you got to be kidding. Well, not with your kids. But she said she was a much different person at that time. So let's listen to the story.
Once we moved, there was nothing. There was nothing. And I don't care if somebody was sitting in that chair, they couldn't look at me in my face and say to me that I wasn't figuring it out. And dealt with. It's not about managing it. I had control. This is one thing that I wanted women to get in this situation. I can give myself that I did put too much faith in thinking that this is what he's going to do as a man. I wasn't working. I would wanted to work. No, told me not to. How dare somebody see my wife working in somewhere? I was a functioning adult before.
But he didn't want you to work.
He didn't want me
because he didn't want Brian McKnight, the celebrity, you're saying.
Yes, he didn't want Brian McKnight's wife to be working.
Gotcha.
And I said, okay, well, these are things that need to happen. None of that made a difference. Once we moved out, it was like we were picked up and just placed in this other little place. And that was it. So yes, I was struck. I wasn't able to get assistance because I'm married to you. I would have had no problem. I would have had none. I've got one kid in school, 2-year-old at home, and nothing. Thank God for my family. I was in my 20s. Mm-hmm. So I almost said a big girl word. Who cares that as an adult, I needed help. Mm-hmm. My family was there.
Okay. So, one of the things I did listen to Julie about, and she said something back in the thing,
with what they wanted to do.
When you found out that the accounts had never been set up,
I lost my mind.
Well, I was gonna say,
always would come with conditions.
My dad don't even know the kind of things and the kind of stuff that I was into as a young.
A lot getting thrown at you for somebody who was the quirky, eccentric one in school. Now suddenly you're everywhere and you're huge and you're the next big. I get it. I got it. I got you. You got a safe space. This is home. This is where. So the narrative that there was an aggrievement that I'm doing this, never wanted to do this, but since this is what you chose, this is how it's going to work. There were diapers changed. There were bottles fed. There were lullabies sang. There were, no, babe, you stay asleep. I'll grab the babies. I'll do. That is what the dynamic was.
Well,
okay, she's saying that Brian up there talking about he ain't had no love in that relationship. And I know Brian had love in that relationship because I know Brian loved that woman. And the reason why I know Brian loved that woman is the behavior he's acting at now. He's so mad about that family being gone that he's willing to not even look at it. Like he don't even want to look at. That's how hurt he is. Julie represented at one time something that he thought he could control. He thought he could run around because she was. What I gathered from Julie is that Julie was a sweet girl who put her own career in the background and really understood that Brian was going to be the star and everything, but she really never understood the workings of Hollywood. Like she said, she tried to not go. She would be uncomfortable at the parties, uncomfortable at that kind of stuff. But I also understand that being his wife, you got to know how to work that shit. Unless you're going to be a secret at home. It's like she said in the 80s and the 90s, well, they did like the R&B males to keep that secret that they have relationships and stuff like that. So it was easier for him to, if he was playing out there, to be the playboy because, a lot of people didn't know his ass was married. But then eventually he started talking about being married on different shows and stuff like that. But Julie, to me, where I thought, and listening to this whole context of this thing, and just to be fair to Brian McKnight on this part, I just thought that she didn't understand. Like when she said she went to work at TJ Maxx, that was crazy to me. I was like, why? Why would you do that? I mean, that to me seems like that does not fit where Brian McKnight is at. Your husband has a #1 song on the radio. It's like she lacked the understanding. She said she just wanted to go work at TJ Maxx and stuff like that because she was bored. But there are so many things that you could have done as a wife. Like starting him a charity. Hey, Brian, I ain't got nothing to do at home. Let's start a charity for music kids, or because you both musical. Let's start. So I realized that there were little things that on her end, and I think she realized that too, that she could have done better as a woman transitioning with her husband into the music business. Now, was it fair? It was not fair that he was playing on her allegedly and doing all this dumb stuff and trying to be controlling and shit, all that stuff. That's bullshit. That's some toxic Gemini shit. But other than that, there were some things I think Julie could have handled better as a woman transitioning into the showbiz, like, because I think she felt uncomfortable because she knew maybe allegedly certain relationships were going on as you move into the Hollywood quarters. He might have been messing with somebody that's at the party, or somebody that's you don't want to see. As a woman, that can fuck with your self-esteem, your mind, everything, right? So that's why I say some of you girls, when you're thinking about dating these highfalutin men, celebrity men, and all that stuff. These motherfuckers, and some of them can do a trip. They might look good on the surface and be fine and everything like that, but they can be really like it could be a lot of toxicity around them in terms of like but I'm a strong heifer. You can't do me. Listen, I'm not. Now, I would have been a younger version of me, might have been a little bit Julie, younger, because Julie was in her 20s. And so that and having that experience of that's a very different time. But shit, you give me that experience now, but dude, listen here. Okay, first of all, you ain't put me out of my house with my 2 kids. Okay. Secondly, I don't know if you could even do that to me in my 20s. But secondly, but I understand it more. And secondly, no, I'm not gonna work at no TJ Maxx. No, we're gonna figure out something that we can do to push you further. You need a charity, something I can do on the side, something that can help as she could have been doing other things, I thought, on the side. And she's musically inclined because she's big over in Europe because she does dance music, I think, dance type of music and stuff like that. So now Julie McKnight is got her own careers and stuff like that. But during that time, and I could see little things. You do see, I remember the Christmas album when Brian had her and the kids and everything on the Christmas album and stuff like that. And they acknowledged that how talented he was. They didn't have anything. They just told the story as it was. They didn't have anything bad to say about this motherfucker. Like he been running around here saying all bad shit, talking about my family was in sin, born to sin. But they did say some shit about him calling his son and his deathbed and some of the alleged shit. It was horrible. It was nasty work. I don't even want to repeat it because it was so bad. I felt so bad for her. But I think this is a man who is angry because this woman had the audacity to not come back. This woman had the audacity to want freedom from you running around being a fucking player and not wanting. Like she said, I miss my infinity pool and all that shit. But listen, I was free when I got in that little townhouse. I was free, she said. I didn't have. She said I had to work. I had to worry about all that crazy. That's crazy. And then you got to worry about, listen, let me tell you something. You got to worry about men bringing home diseases and shit like that. What they picking up on the road and lack of sexual motherfucking discipline. That's the only thing bad about the rock star lifestyle with men. Is the ability to control your libido. It's out here screwing everything. It's out here just screwing anything. Some of the stories that I have heard, women that I have heard, I'm like, oh my God. I believe I see how a woman like Julie went, and now Brian was trying to act like he ain't did shit. Like his shit clean. It don't sound like your shit is clean, Brian. Okay, allegedly. Okay, after what Julie said, and I believe Julie. I believe her ass. I believe her. Okay. Yeah, but I do see where she could have done some things better. So it just felt like to me she was trying to normalize a lifestyle that is not normalized. Yes, there's a point of making home. I understood what she meant. This is your home, this isn't that, but you can't normalize that kind of experience. You got to understand that experience for what it is, but yet balance it with some normalizations, but also understand what the fuck you living in. It's like she was almost in denial of where she was at. And she had her kids a little bit like, cause the kids was talking, the son was talking about how they didn't grow up with, in the Hollywood situation. They was kind of still grounded with their own family members and stuff like that. But you could ground them all day with your children. And this is just my personal opinion. You could ground them all day with their regular family, but they're still his children. They are still having the experience of a celebrity child. So so my opinion to that would be to ground them, yes, with their relatives and everything, so they can have a place of stability and a family and understanding that. But also you need to also ground them in the world they're in. And I think that may have been a little bit hard for her. And plus his monkey ass was always on the fucking road, allegedly. You didn't seem like you talking about her running raising the kids. Nah, motherfucker, it's what you wasn't there to do, allegedly. Can't blame it all on the woman. Like, you got some responsibility. And he, as a father, he did take his kids on the road, but it sounds like they were exposed to certain things. Like, it sounds like allegedly, like the son talks about being exposed to girlfriends and stuff like that. Listen, men, don't expose your kids to your fucking side chicks and stuff like that. Just ridiculous. You grown ass men. And that can destroy a child. Because kids ain't dumb. They know you playing on their mama. When they see the side chick, you can destroy a kid's self-esteem. I had a relative doing that. I said, the fuck? These kids know the fuck what you doing. Like, you can't be no dumbass. Keep your side chick. No two shall meet. Your side chick should not be meeting your kids. Your kids should not be meeting your side chick. What the hell is going on around here? I knew one person that took their kids on a whole fucking vacation with the side. Just dumb shit, okay? Don't be dumb, all right? But this was a very telling interview. It's interesting to watch Brian McKnight's ex-wife's son tell all full interview, and it's Mark Lamont Hill's show. You can find it on YouTube. Very, very interesting show. Okay, so it was something else I wanted to talk to you about. I'm trying to think of what else. It was the Brian McKnight situation. Hold on here. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and I'm gonna come back. And then I'll try to talk to you guys. We'll have the last couple of things at the last couple of stories we'll talk about, okay? Be just a moment, y'all. So let me pull it up. Okay, be back in a moment, all right? Hey, I'm back on the Carlotta Chat with show. Okay, so the last show of the night, the last story of the night is Blue Ivy. Y'all wanted me to comment on Blue Ivy at the basketball game with her father and the full face of makeup. Okay. First of all, Blue Ivy is a celebrity child. I've complimented Jay-Z and Beyonce plenty of times on this show about how I love how they are teaching her to work the world of show business, like kind of grounding her in what she's in. It seems like that, kind of grounding her. I'm gonna tell you, I kind of did not like the makeup thing, bringing her to the basketball game where basketball players tend to be, and I'm not just not over sexualized men. And having her, she looks very old. She didn't look like a child, even though she's tall. You can still look like a child. She had on a full face of makeup. And it looked like she was wearing lip liner. Her hair was down. And even though the clothes she wore were very, it was very, it was age appropriate. It was just her hair, her full face of makeup. She looked very grown, very adult like. And some person was saying some of y'all are a predator. Some people were saying, she had on false nails that were very long. I get Blue Ivy doing this because she is her parents are in show business, okay? But I also think it works to social engineer your children and how you feel about the way your 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds dress. Your children are not celebrity children. Full faces of makeup and all of that stuff. We used to sneak and try to do that stuff. Now they're trying to normalize this going on with 13 and 14-year-olds. Let your babies be babies as long as possible. Let them keep good skin as long as possible. Yeah, it's okay to wear some nice lipstick, a little bit learning how to apply makeup and stuff like that. When you're at the age of 13 or 14, little makeup like lip gloss and stuff like that, maybe a little liner, something like that. But this is a full face of makeup. And in some senses, I feel like it is social engineering your children and you to believe that, this is that's what all the comments were saying. All 13 and 14-year-olds do this. It's nothing but, and that's because of the obsession with Beyonce. There's a lot of Beyonce-ites out here, are robots or something that try to but it's like she had her breast pushed up at one event too one night. I'm like, she's 14. Why do y'all got her titties pushed up? She was in a outfit. I think it was some sort of ball or something, and her breasts were pushed up. She's 13. She's 14. I know times is changing, but it is still, let a child, you can still be cute and dress or and start to move as an older child without looking like a grown ass woman. And I don't care how tall she is or whatever, this child looks grown. Y'all got too much makeup. Her hairstyle is grown, everything. And she's walking through, even though she's with her daddy, she's at a basketball game where these men are overly sexy. These celebrity men, where anytime celebrity men are men with money and all that, it's over sexualized. And like younger chicks, a lot of them, not all athletes, I'm not saying that, but these are arenas that breed that kind of energy. Like concerts and stuff. Remember back in the 90s, what's them people's name? BBD. Backstage, underage, adolescent. How you doing? Fine. She replied, I sighed. I like to do the wild thing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, these people, type of people in that arena, not all the people in that arena, like younger people. They harvest that energy and shit. And you got that little girl out there. So I felt a little way about it. I didn't like it. Even though she had on a lot of clothes and stuff, but it was giving something else because the hair was too long. It's not that the hair looked beautiful, but I feel like you go into a little game, have your little hair up in a ponytail, look like a little kid. I know some motherfuckers gawking at her. I just know. And they people say, oh, then you trying to have a dirty mind and you sexualizing. No, I just know how men are. I remember my first time when I was 13 years old. My first time I used to have hair just like this, long, just like this. And I got my hair pressed and I went to the store. I was 13 years old. I didn't have on no makeup. Okay. I just was with my friend, had on some cute shirts. You know how many men stopped trying to talk to me? That was my first time experience with men, like, oh my God. And I was like probably 12 or 13. I remember saying that to my grandma. My grandma said, I remember my grandmother said, well, she said, that's because I done pressed your hair. She said, but when you go to the store and put your hair in a ponytail, look, because you look old. You're an older looking girl. You're very built for 12 and 13-year-old. So, put your hair up, but let people know you a kid. I didn't even wear no makeup. But this girl got on a full face of makeup with some lip gloss and lip liner and looked like she done had her face beat. She's 13, 14. Fuck, she looked like she's 19. I don't care if she is with her daddy. Shit. I don't like it. Let her be a kid. And this is the second time I've seen Beyonce and them do that. Last time they had her boobies up. She's 13, 14. She got plenty of time to show them titties off. Okay, 15, 16. When you get 16, I don't even like it at 16, but you can wear the push-up bra a little bit at 16. Okay, 17, you start moving on into your own. You're 18, you start moving into your own and becoming a little young lady and stuff like that. Okay, that's but these years, make them sacred, and then y'all put them out here on these shows, on these things, and then y'all got these morons and talking in the back of here. No, I'm not saying moron. You got these people who agreeing with this kind of stuff because they seeing everybody do it. But I'm not saying it's just because you're seeing everybody doing it doesn't mean it's appropriate. And you got to always remember when you see celebrities doing shit, they live in a different world. Now, I understand why Blue Ivy's doing it because she's in a different world, but this is also a social engineering going on of letting you start to be okay with doing that to your child. And you can't do that. You got to let your kids be kids, okay? Bullshit. It's enough of a grown ass. That's what the problem was with us when we was in our crack era. Shit, we grew up too fucking fast. It was too much. Enjoy the childhood years. My God. Same thing with little North. North too grown sometimes too, okay? But that's a matter of social engineering and be careful about that, all right? So that's what that's what I'm going to say on that, okay? All right, you guys. So I've come to the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. And you know what? Y'all saying, Carlotta, I thought you wouldn't do it. You're gonna do this show does show up on YouTube now. Right now, I'm still doing I'm still doing shows every now and then because I've been so busy and everything. I really haven't done it the way I wanted to do it. But I'm trying to put out as much shows as I can for you guys right now. I am super busy. I got so much other stuff going on. Okay. But hopefully next semester, I think I'm gonna try to have I'm doing a project about theater and stuff too. So hopefully you guys will get to hear some of my theater podcasts and stuff like that. But yeah, just be patient, okay? Please be patient with me. I know when I start something, sometimes I get so busy with other things, but just be patient. I'm coming there. I'm getting there to the website, coming up and everything, and it'd be easier for you guys. And it'd be easier for you guys to have a regular time that I'll be on and stuff like that. But till then, listen for the show, okay? Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chat with Facebook page. You can also hit me up on Instagram at Carly's with an S _Galaxy. You can also hit me up on X at C Chatwood Show and Carlotta 72, and on Threads there's a link on Instagram for Threads, and for TikTok it's Keisha Carlotta. Okay, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Enjoy the holidays. Man, I love the holidays. I love them. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Enjoy your holidays, okay? And try not to be encouraged no matter what your situation is. Let me tell you something. In a day, God can change your situation. In a day, okay? So trust in the power of God and and the power to change your life for greater things. Okay, I'm out. You guys have a good one. See ya. Bye bye. Have a good one.